Welcome back to To Be Better podcast. Before we get into the intro, we have a little bit of a disclaimer that we need you to hear.
We are not the experts of your life. You are.
We believe that most relationships can be saved. However, both parties have to want it, and both parties have to be willing to do the work.
So we speak in generalizations. If it applies to 90% of the population, and you're part of the 10% that it doesn't, it can be adapted to fit the narrative you're going with.
And it's up to you to make that adaptation. It's not up to us to cater to every single living being on the planet. We just want to get the information out there, and you can make it applicable to your life as you see fit.
So whether you decide to stay or decide to leave, you still have to make the changes that are necessary to grow.
If you fail to do the work, you're going to fail in your next relationship. So why not do the work now before quitting?
All right, so in emailing us, you are asking us for our unbiased, unfiltered opinions. If you're not ready to hear our opinions, do not email us.
And there are certain topics that we will not discuss on this podcast, such as domestic violence, SA, or other assaults and addiction.
Or children being abused.
Speaking of the emails, if you guys are going to send us an email, please be as detailed as possible. Take a second to proofread what you have sent and make sure that you have punctuation, because if you have one long paragraph that is a run-on sentence and it is a difficult thing for us to read, we're not going to sit down and retype your email just for us to be able to read it on the podcast. It will get moved into a rejected folder and we will never see it. And last but not least, if you're not interested in having your email read on our podcast, do not submit an email. We do not do direct emailing answers. It is a scratch our back. We scratch yours. You send email for our content. We give you the opinions that you're asking for. And if you would like to have your email submitted, you can send it to tobebetterco@gmail.com. The number 2, bebetterco@gmail.com.
And we're back.
And we're back. Episode 25.
Feels like a change in things.
A rite of passage into adulthood. No longer fumbling around in the dark of our immaturity of the podcast. We're starting to come into our own.
That gave me chills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're multiplying.
I'm about to lose control.
Wrong song, but good job.
No. Wait. No.
Yeah.
I've done it again, an unintentional mashup.
Yeah. Way wrong. That's funny.
They're multiplying.
We went from Grease to whatever that was.
I've got chills. They're multiplying.
Yeah. John Travolta from Grease. I don't know the rest of the song.
My mind just keeps going to the mashup. I'm going to need you guys to comment what the next line is.
Yeah.
I'm like a record skipping in my brain right now.
It's funny. Man, I can't believe we're 25 episodes into the actual podcast.
Right.
So what's that put us at? 6 months? By the time this releases?
I have no idea. We know I can't math.
Yeah.
Not like that. That's too much.
Actually, I think 24 put us at the 6 month mark.
Yeah, 24. I just counted on my fingers.
So what do you got for me today?
So, I was in the shower the other day, and I was massaging my scalp and doing the self-care thing. And I was thinking about how I make a joke a lot of the time going, yeah, women supporting women. I'm having fun, guys. Great. And my mind went to, well, there's examples of women supporting women. And the first thing that came to my mind, have you heard of the chick? Her name is Alicia McCarvell.
Nope.
So she came across my TikTok. I haven't delved deep into her account. She is a plus size model from my understanding. And her husband is a super fit gym dude. And women have ripped her apart, saying that he's only with you because you have money. He should leave you, find a girl that's more attractive. All of this shit. And then my mind went to, I could not imagine being this woman's husband, being madly in love with this woman, and seeing people who are supposed to be in a sisterhood with her.
Right. Ripping her apart.
Going, you are absolutely disgusting. Your man deserves somebody more attractive than you. When to him, this is the most beautiful woman in the world.
It's crazy to me the way that people shit on people's happiness.
Yep. And that's women supporting women.
You know, tell me you're miserable without telling me you're miserable. Like, why not just be like, hell yeah, you guys are happy? That's dope. Same thing with Bunny and Jelly.
Right.
The amount of people that are like, oh, she's just a gold digger, blah, 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 not knowing their backstory. It's like, I don't know.
It blows my mind how, when you really think about it, do any of us really stand for anything? Because we all say these things, but in reality, we can see that that's not true.
You mean like feminism?
Feminism, supporting men, equal rights. Do you really want equal rights, or do you just want in that moment something to benefit you and make you look good? I don't know, just seeing feminism preach women supporting women, and in all actuality, you guys don't. Just think about, like, what do you really fucking stand for in this world? And can you say that with your chest and your actions back it up and people can vouch, like, yeah, that is something that they wholeheartedly support, and I've never seen them waver.
Patron. It's hot in here today.
It is very hot in here today.
I don't know if I didn't turn the AC down or what.
You want to go check it?
Nope, because I don't want to get back up. My legs are sore as shit from yesterday.
Yeah.
I am not as in shape as I'd like to believe I am. And I know this because building those 2 desks have my hamstrings fucking screaming today.
You haven't stretched in a while.
No, I know. Because this is what we do most of the time. I sit in a chair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you sit and edit.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they are tight.
Nighttime yoga.
Not a chance.
I can put on some short shorts for you.
You can do nighttime yoga. I'll cheer you on.
We can do nighttime yoga.
We can do nighttime sexy things after you do yoga. I'm not doing that.
I don't see how that's going to benefit you.
You doing yoga benefits the shit out of me. Are you kidding me?
We're focusing
I can tie you
on
into a pretzel.
Your hamstring.
Then you could be a super snack. All I would need is some melted cheese and game on.
I mean, when you think about it, I really could be a soft pretzel because my skin is very well taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm salty a lot of the time. I am. Like a jumbo pretzel.
So I had a realization today. You ever notice that we get emails constantly from people who have past trauma that they haven't worked through yet?
Yes.
And it's baggage, abuse.
A lot of the time they name it in the email too, and they recognize it's a problem.
Right. But they haven't let go of it.
Right.
And I believe it's because they choose to be a victim. Mm-hmm. It's easier to say these things happened to me, and therefore I get to act like this because of it. Excuse me. Instead of saying, this happened to me 10 years ago, I am a different person this decade than I was in the previous decade. Yes, bad things happen to me, but I have to make a decision on how I'm going to live my life because the way that I'm living currently is affecting those around me in a negative manner. It's ruining my relationships. It's ruining my non-intimate relationships. My family and I aren't getting along anymore for whatever reason. I have a hard time keeping jobs at work because people don't want to be around me or whatever the case is. It's a you problem. Mm-hmm. And this is where people are like, oh, you're victim blaming and you're throwing shade at people because they have trauma. And I'm not. I'm saying that as somebody who has trauma and has been through a fucking lot in life, I've made decisions to not let my past dictate my future. Mm-hmm. People ask us constantly, if you could change one thing about your past, what would it be?
Nothing.
Absolutely fucking nothing. I like who I am.
Yeah.
I like what I have in life. Going back and changing one thing is going to change the way that my life has gone. Because the hardships that I had to overcome and the trauma that I had to work through has made me a better man. Mm-hmm. But it was a fucking choice. I could have very easily played the victim.
You're not wearing your headphones.
I know. Why? It's hot in here.
Oh.
It makes my head sweat. That's what I was talking about a minute ago.
I thought you were just pointing at the corner, and I was like,
no.
Okay.
You just noticed that, though, huh?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted everybody to see my butthole earlobes. Not really, but... I tuck my earlobes into my headphones when I wear them.
I can't believe I'm getting ready to admit this to you. There are times where I'm up on you. I'm snacking on your ear a little bit. Then I think about just going,
through the earlobe.
The earlobe.
Well, at least we know they're clean.
Yeah, I know you do keep them really clean. You clean them every day.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Just don't make the noise.
No.
No, it's be too close to my ear to.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
So to go off what you were saying, I'm going to add on to that. At what point I can understand a 20-year-old looking back at their childhood, that being a very prevalent point in their life, because that was 3 years ago for you.
Right.
Your childhood just ended. When you're in your 40s and you're looking back 30 years and going, that fucked me up, at what point do you differentiate you from your childhood?
Yeah. I don't know. I think that when I became a man, I put away childish things.
Yeah.
I didn't have a choice to have a long extended childhood into my 20s. Mm-hmm. I just didn't. So like for me to work through my trauma, like I still have shit that I haven't gotten over in life, but I don't allow it to dictate my now.
Right.
If I treated you based off of the treatment that I've gotten from other people my entire life, we wouldn't have this marriage.
No.
It's that fucking simple. If I'm going to say this because you've said it in previous podcasts, but you've been abused, raped. You've said it as much. If you treated me based off of the action of your abuser, I wouldn't be here.
No.
You had to work through your shit and accept that that's not all men.
Mm-hmm.
That situation was that situation. It was a shitty situation, and you had to move past it.
Yeah.
And you did.
You know, having that happen to me, part of the getting over that process, like I've accepted it's happened. I am not fearful. I don't look back at that and I have a massive panic attack about it. I look back at that as like, that happened. This happens in the world. It is still currently happening. All I can do for myself and for the people around me and for my children is to give them warning signs.
Right.
Things to look out for, how to defend yourself. I've grown from that massively. Yeah. Everything's a learning opportunity.
Right. But do you know the amount of people who go through things like that and then treat everyone in their life as if they were the abuser? Because they do.
I would say majority of people.
They will create unnecessary arguments and fights in relationships just because they feel like that this is, in this case, it would be a man. I'm going to use a man as a scenario. He's a man, so I'm going to just treat him like that because I can. Those things happen. It's not conducive to a healthy relationship in any way, shape, or form. And the longer it takes you to work through your shit and start living in your right now instead of living in your past, which you can't fucking change, you are allowing your past to live in your present and destroy your future.
Imagine having your dream person in your life.
I don't have to. That's right.
Okay.
I said it. I know what that's like.
My sternum's itchy now.
That was very random.
I don't know. Like that took the wind out of me. Now I just feel like I need to like soothe myself. You're okay.
Just high five your inner child. You'll be all right.
My inner child, my ancestors, God. Okay. Imagine having your dream person in your life.
I don't have to.
I
just
know.
said that.
I'm speaking to the masses.
Oh, yeah. You guys imagine that shit.
You're so cocky.
I got that. I don't fucking have to imagine nothing.
Because of my neck hurting the way it hurts. I can't laugh the way I want to laugh. So I'm like, I'm trying to not move my body. And it just...
She's Turtle Chris today.
I was so bad yesterday. I really looked like a 150-year-old turtle.
Oh, I know. I came into the bathroom last night as you were walking out like this. And you were like, what? And I was like... You were like, don't make fun of me.
That was probably one of the funniest fucking moments of my life.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I was expecting you to say something cute. Maybe touch me. Maybe wink at me. You mimicked my poor posture and just... I'm so glad I married you. You just match my energy. I have so much fun with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was I saying?
You were telling people to imagine that they have what we have.
Okay. There was a person in your life right now. It could be an acquaintance. It could be somebody that just started at work. It could be somebody that your cousin just met at a college program. There could be a person in your life right now who is your dream person. Because the way that you are acting, the way that you have not tidied yourself up and just gotten your shit together, you will never have the opportunity to have what you seek in us.
So while you were talking, I almost had to go, new patron, because we got another one. I'm going to plug that so that I can turn my phone on to do not disturb for the rest of this, because I'm already tired of the that's happening over here. So with that being said, guys, if you are not familiar with what we've got going on, we have a Patreon community. At some point while I'm talking, I'm sure there's going to be a little box that pops up on your screen that gives you the address to the Patreon community, so you can write it down. And I'm sure that if you're in the Premiere chat for this, there'll be a command that pops up, which will actually give you a link to our Patreon, because our community is very interactive like that. There is 4 tiers currently in Patreon. $5 tier is a tip. It's just the tip. See how it feels. Gives us a nice little thank you. So I couldn't let that go. $10 tier gives you early access to content and exclusive content for Patreon. $15 tier gives you exclusive content, exclusive live streams every Sunday night, which is a Q&A where we sit down and literally just bullshit with people in Discord or in our live chat. And it also gives you access to our Discord. Our Discord is a private Discord. It is fucking popping. There's over 600 people in there. It is a very good place to be. We have everything from homesteading to photography conversations in there. It is a lot of fun.
Yeah, lots going on in there. It's too much for me to keep up with sometimes.
The men and women's group that we've talked about is in Discord.
Women's group is starting June 1st. I'm so excited.
Yeah. The $20 tier allows you to bring your partner into our Discord server. For those of you who have not experienced anything like that, Discord is literally just a chat service, but it allows you to do video calls. You have your murder mystery things going on in there where you guys watch TV shows together and have discussions.
That's not really a me thing.
It was, though. You started it, and it was like, I don't have time for this. Sorry, guys, gotta go.
Yeah, I jumped ship because they were like, we need a night. And I'm like, all my nights are super busy because we're doing live streams, we're recording, or I have the kids.
Yeah.
So I kind of just passed it off to the masses, and they're coordinating all of it.
So the other things that you can do to support the channel besides Patreon, because that is the entire point of the Patreon, is to help support what we're doing so that we can continue to grow. You can give us super chats here on YouTube and become a member on YouTube. But the best thing that you can do that doesn't cost you anything is to share our content with people that you think may find value in what we're discussing. In the event that you think that somebody needs to hear this shit, even if it's going to trigger them, send the content. The worst that's going to happen is they're going to talk shit to us on the internet, and we don't really see it anyway, so it doesn't matter.
It doesn't bother me much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gets to me sometimes.
Yeah.
It depends on what it is that they're doing. Like when they're talking shit about me, it doesn't faze me. But when like their perception of who I am gets skewed, I feel like I need to defend my character.
I don't really feel the need to defend my character. I get angry when there's clearly a lack of intelligence.
I get that.
Yeah.
I get that.
A lack of awareness.
Yeah.
Main character syndrome. Yeah.
The other things, the last 2 things that I need to announce, I guess, and then we'll get on with what we're doing. We are probably going to be doing another shirt drop in the month of June for the Ego Kills Talent shirt, which when we do that, we will announce it in a live stream. And we do 2 live streams currently a week. Thursday nights, we do our book breakdowns, which is currently the apology languages. We'll be moving into choice theory when that's done. And Wednesdays, we are starting live streams at 11 a.m. for book breakdowns. And we are currently working through Split the Difference, Never Split the Difference by
Correct.
Chris Voss. And those books are books that are on our recommended reading list, which you can pull off the website, as well as downloads for the check-ins, the kids' check-ins, and a couple other things. But we are using these books as a way to navigate new communication tools. So highly recommend checking those things out. So with that being said, now that I've had to do all of this stupid plugging, if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, please do so. Hit the notification bell, thumbs up. Do the YouTube thing. 65,000. Today is May 18th. We'll be at 65,000 by the end of the day. I think we're going to hit 100,000 by the end of September.
That would be insane.
It would be. I want that fucking button so bad. So bad. And I want a Mercedes.
I know.
And I've been putting it off because I want it to like mean something when I buy it. I also really want to do that whiskey room.
Yeah.
Did I tell you I talked to Adam today, and he said that I'm looking at between $6,000 and $10,000 for that build out?
No, you didn't tell me that, but I assumed that would be the range.
Yeah. I sent him that video of that dude's build, and I was like, this is pretty much what I want, except for I think I want to put a TV in there. Did I tell you about the LED that I ordered us?
No.
So I found a company that does custom LED signs.
Okay.
And I sent them the king and queen chess piece holding with the 3 rings around it that Jeff Graham designed for us. Shout out to Jeff Graham. If you guys don't follow him on TikTok, Jeffrey Graham Tattoos. He is a monster. He goes live every day while he's tattooing at Sacred Rites in Port Charlotte, Florida. He's a fucking beast.
He is.
Love that dude. He's also one of my best friends. So.
Yes. He did my throat tattoo.
Yep.
Everybody always asks who does it. It was Jeffrey Graham.
He also did the girl on the inside of your arm.
Yep. He did the girl on the inside of my arm.
My name.
Your name. Yeah.
So he designed that piece. I actually want to talk about that for a minute too, but before I do, I want to get into the sign thing. So I sent a company, and I don't remember the name of the company, so I can't even plug the company, but I sent them what I wanted, and they were like, we can't do exactly that all in LEDs, but we can do this. And they're basically going to print out a 40-inch tall 2 chess piece thing, full color print, and then line it in LEDs.
Okay.
So we'll be able to hang that somewhere as a backdrop. So maybe we can put it behind you instead of a print so that you can have that backlight back there.
That'd be so cool.
Or we can put it on that new whiskey shelf where the TV was going.
We'll see. Let's see where it looks best once everything's done.
So remind me when we're done because I have the proof. They sent me the proof this morning.
Okay.
For those of you who have seen or noticed that we went from that weird tribal design thing to the 2 chess pieces, that weird tribal design, we bought that on Fiverr.
For like $20.
Yeah. It literally was $20.
Yeah.
When we decided that we were going to do a podcast, we hadn't, I needed this. This really has to stop. We had zero thought put into it. I bought the domain, had somebody on Fiverr throw something together real quick just so that we had it in case we were going to do something. And I was like, we can always change this later.
Yeah.
And the more I used it, the more I was like, this doesn't represent us at all. So I got with Jeff Graham and I was like, here's what I want. I was like, I want 2 chess pieces, a pink one and a blue one to represent pink and blue jobs. I want it to be wood so that it's worn to represent the work that goes into a relationship or a marriage because it is not smooth sailing and
Right.
like it's going to get weathered and cracked and it's going to be used. So I want it to look like it's well used wood pieces. The 3 rings on it represent the Trinity as well as the rings representing marriage, and it's hugging her. It almost looks like they're dancing almost.
Yeah.
There's a lot more to it than that, but that's the gist of why we changed that logo from the tribal thing to the king and queen chess pieces because it's supposed to be representative of us. And I think he just did an amazing job with it.
He did great with it. Yeah.
I asked him when I was supposed to get my hand tattooed on the 10th and I backed out because I didn't want to redo what's on my hand. I want to actually cover it, I think. And he asked me what I wanted, and I told him to try to do the chess pieces on there. And he's like, I don't think you're going to be able to cover that tattoo with those chess pieces. I'm like, man.
Could he do it in color?
I don't know. I don't want color on that arm.
Yeah.
I don't like color tattoos. I wish I could start over. If I could, if I could like etch a sketch, erase my body, I would start all over again.
Yeah.
Yep. I would.
I've been thinking about getting the chess pieces tattooed on me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to do everything else in gray, black and gray. I do want to keep my purple flowers, my lavender flowers, and just do black and gray around that. I think that'll look really dope.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I want to get tattooed.
I don't. Shit hurts now. I don't have any easy spots left. And even the easy spots that I have to get tattooed are cover-ups. And they're cover-ups of cover-ups of cover-ups.
So you just going over and over
it sucks, dude. Like, I don't know. This is what happens when you get tattooed when you're a teenager. You know, you cover yourself in shitty tattoos and you end up with a black leg and a bunch of shit you can't really tell what it is. So, life lessons.
Need to get my legs going. Need to get my throat touched up. What? Why are you looking at me like that?
Jeff actually said that about your throat.
What?
That you need to touch your throat up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Need to get in there with him.
He was on the live stream when we had both of our chats going or on TikTok, and he was like, you guys have a really bad echo because I was in your live stream, so it was playing through both speakers. I don't know. I want to start doing TikTok lives too. Like if we start vlogging in here and doing the real world style vlogs where we sit down and just talk shit to a camera, I may turn the TikTok thing on for a little bit.
That, yeah.
You left the beta program.
I did.
For all of you guys who are on TikTok that are creators that are thinking about joining the creator beta program, it's not worth it. They throttle the hell out of your account. You went from
I went from getting about 3,000 to 5,000 views to 500,000 views in a day.
In a day. Yeah. The day that you left the program, that video did 200,000, 250,000 views. The next video did 500,000. I'm in the beta program and I'm not having videos hit more than 300,000 over the course of like 6 or 7 days. And I have almost 1 million followers.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense the way that they're throttling shit. I really think they slow roll it out.
That way they don't have to pay you.
Right. And I really think that's what it comes down to. They're not trying to pay out a bunch of money. And so if you get, I don't even know how that works. I probably shouldn't speak on that because I might be wrong.
Yeah.
It'd be better to look dumb than open my mouth and prove it. So
that's smart. I like that.
You want to get into some emails?
Yeah. Okay. First one is called Relational Flipflop. Hi, before I get into my question, I wanted to thank you both for being authentically you. Your podcast has helped me heal parts of me that I didn't even know needed healing and has made me a stronger girlfriend in my relationship.
Like that.
I also want to apologize for the lengthy email, but I know you guys say details matter, so I'll provide any that I find important to my question. My boyfriend and I have been together for 3 years. I am 26 and he is 44.
Cool. That's an age gap.
I met him through the tattoo studio he owns, and after one session and talking for several hours, I knew immediately that he was going to be my best friend.
It's funny.
I love you.
I know.
Spit on me.
I'm not cutting that out.
Good. We ended up going on a date a few weeks later where we hung out together with my son, and a month or two later we became a couple. Both of us had previously come out of a long-term relationship that was abusive and toxic, and we had stayed single for a year working on ourselves. When we met, things just clicked and fell into place. The relationship progressed quickly, and looking back, I realized it was because after enduring so much hardship in a previous relationship, being together felt like home for both of us. During the first year of our relationship, we were together all the time. Business at his studio was slow in 2020 due to COVID, so he had a lot of free time. He took in my son with open arms immediately and fell into the role of father figure where my son previously had none. We went on dates, went hiking. He took us on several vacations. It was pure bliss. The next year in 2021, business picked back up again. He was working 5 days a week between 12 and 15 hours each day.
That's normal. Well, it used to be. It's not anymore, but that used to be normal. It used to be 6 days a week, 10 to 15-hour days.
Yeah.
Industry's changed a lot. The younger generation of tattoo artists just don't have the fortitude that the older guys had to endure. They have a choice.
Yeah.
It's different now.
We didn't live together and still don't, so I was seeing him maybe once or twice a week. It was hard. I just wanted to be with him, and so did my son. And when he was off, I was either working or he was too exhausted to do anything. It was hard for both of us. Owning a business, and especially a tattoo studio, is very physically and mentally draining. Or demanding. Wow. Owning a business, and especially a tattoo studio, is very physically and mentally demanding. He was completely drained, and it didn't make it any easier. And I didn't make it any easier on him by acting out in jealousy that his clients got his attention and not me, and demanding more from him.
Yeah, I wouldn't tolerate that from somebody.
Yeah.
I really wouldn't. If you're that insecure and jealous that you're afraid of me going to work, this isn't going to happen.
Yeah.
And it is very demanding mentally to own a tattoo studio and physically demanding to be an artist. But I own a tattoo shop. I've owned 7 of them. I've owned multiples at one time and managed to make it work. It's if you are making the money that you should be making as a shop owner, it's very easy to hire managers to do things so that you don't have to be the one that's at the shop 24/7 doing shit. It comes down to finding good people, and that's the hardest part of owning a business is finding good employees.
Yeah. I had to do a lot of self-reflection to realize that I was demanding more than he was able to give me at the time.
You were being childish is what you were being.
That really was being childish. Over time, I became more comfortable with my independence. I had done a lot of work on myself and realizing where my insecurities stemmed from and how to combat those thoughts and behaviors. I got to the point where I knew that I didn't need him. I didn't need to see him all the time to know that he loved me and my son. I knew neither of us were going anywhere and that our busy schedules were just a season in time. I became so independent that seeing him basically only on weekends became normal because I finally reached a point where I completely felt secure in our relationship, something I had never experienced in previous relationships. In 2022, I began a new job and became equally as busy. Between taking care of my son, both my son and I going to school, and taking care of the house on top of working a full-time job with a 45-minute commute, I started seeing him even less. We only lived 10 minutes away from each other. With me piling on more to my schedule, he realized how little of each other we were seeing and how maxed out he was. It is absolutely unbelievable to me that you guys only live 10 minutes away from each other and you were seeing each other so little.
Yeah, it was a decision that they were both making.
Right.
I get caught up on shit like this, like because I am a business owner and because I have been a business owner my entire adult life. I know that it's a lot of work to run businesses and it definitely stresses the relationships that you have with people. And though marriage is important and family is important, your future is important.
Right.
And people who don't understand the ambition and the drive and the dedication that it takes to run a business and to run a business don't need to be with people who are entrepreneurs or small business owners, because it is time consuming as fuck. And you either jump on that roller coaster and ride it with them and help them build that empire, or you're going to be sitting on the back burner because priorities are there. Retirement, you know what I mean? Like retirement's a big deal. I want to fucking retire one day. I want to have all this shit laid out so that when I am retired, I don't have to work anymore.
Right.
And that's a lot of sacrifice that has to happen now. And if that means that you and I don't get a date night for 2 weeks, we're not going on a date. We're going to grind and make this fucking money and then take a vacation.
And that vacation is going to be so amazing once we finally do get it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've taken them. We've gone to Tennessee quite a few times. And like,
I just mean in that instance.
But yeah, it makes it more sweet when you have the bitterness of having to grind for 2 years. When you take a 2-week vacation, you're like, yes.
You know what I was thinking about this morning?
Me?
Always. I wake up and you're the first thing on my mind.
That's because I'm breathing on you.
No, not really. You're usually facing the other way, or you're on your phone. But I was thinking this morning, because we just converted our whole living room. We pulled the living room furniture forward closer to the TV, and now we have 16 feet of desk. And it looks so cool. And we're getting ready to decorate it, and he built it. He built my desk. Seeing you on the floor, like, putting shit together, something in me was just like, yes, this is nice. I'm enjoying this. And then this morning you were like, we can get another desk and put it against the windows, and that's where we can do our little t-shirt station. I got excited as fuck when you said that.
Yeah.
Knowing that we could be so productive in such a large space and not only give to a community, but profit from that as well. Hell yeah, dude. And keep all of this going.
Yeah.
Like, we have a legit business happening. And I realize a lot of women might get shitty about that.
Why?
Because this is the home. You shouldn't bring work into home. That's the living room. The living room has to be decorated the way I want it decorated. I don't want my living space to be my workspace.
It's not, though. I mean, I edit out there, but even if we turn the living room space into an actual podcast, our living room is 25 feet by 25 feet, everyone. Just so you know, our living room is fucking massive. So it's not like we just took over the living room with computer desks. We still have a couch, a love seat, 85-inch TV, bookcases, TV stand, coffee tables, those big round chairs that used to be in the podcast room are out there, and we still have room for a 16-foot desk.
Yeah.
And another 12 to 14-foot desk in between all of that for the t-shirts. So it's not like our living room is non-functional. And if this wasn't on YouTube, I would totally take a picture and post it, but I'll put it in Discord. I'm not willing to put all of our life like that on the internet, but
yeah.
I could probably angle like a weird picture of the desks when the desks are done, or like just do like a desk reveal because it's just against that wall. That would be kind of neat.
That would be dope, yeah.
The idea of being with somebody and them being like, I don't want to bring our home, or I don't want to bring our work into our home life. That has to happen sometimes. Like if you want success in something and you're a small business owner, and let's say you want to make t-shirts and you buy a Riley Hopkins screen printing press and you max out your garage with it, and you're in your garage every day for 10 hours a day in the heat making t-shirts, that's at your house. Your workspace is now there. Is it better to have an office where you can go do the work and then come out and separate it? Absolutely. But how many people have computers outside of their actual office in their home?
Right.
How many people sit on their laptops on the couch or play on their phone or their iPad while on the couch? It's no difference. The difference is we are making a very successful business out of what we're doing. And now we're starting to remodel our home to effectively take shape for what we're doing. If I could build us a barn dominium, like I have the credit. I just don't have the resources right now because of the hurricane. There's a very real possibility that if we keep this house in the next 3 years, I'm gonna buy those lots behind us and put a giant fucking warehouse on this property and move all of our shit. The gym, because we have a 1,000 square foot gym that's detached from our house that's full of hammer strength equipment, like commercial grade. If I could put that in the warehouse, turn that, what's currently our gym, into our podcast area and still have a garage, that would be gangster.
That would
and
be,
then
yeah.
we'd still have this big ass house plus a warehouse plus an in-law suite that's used as a podcast room. Like, it makes sense. All we're doing is increasing the value of our property.
Right.
I don't know. I would hate to think that people would actually shame you because we did that to our living room. Like, the thought of that kind of irritates me a little bit because our living room looks dope as fuck right now.
Oh, I don't think that we would get shamed for it. Just in a home dynamic, there could be one of the spouses who gets upset about the fact that the living room is now not just a living room, it's being accommodated to, like, there's being space taken for a business aspect, not for whatever decoration she wants up or however she wants to lay out a living room to be.
Yeah.
Or he.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does, but here's another perspective on this. Say that, okay, because I'm a workhorse. I will work from 6 in the morning until 2:30, go to bed, wake up at 6 a.m. and do it all over again. Like, I don't have a problem working all day long.
Right.
From literally until 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, going to bed, 4 hours later, waking up and doing it all over again. It doesn't bother me. I have to stop. I have to mentally stop myself from doing shit around 7:30, 8 o'clock at night so that you and I get cuddle time. If you were here with the kids watching TV in the living room and they're watching Bluey or, I don't know, whatever else it is that they watch out there, and you're on the couch and I'm in the back room editing, we're not together. I'm in the back room editing while you're with the kids in the living room. With my computer desk being out there and that little mirror that I put out there, I can be engaged with everything that's going on while still editing, and I get to spend time with my family while working. It's not like the computer needs my undivided attention. It just needs my attention.
Right.
The way my brain works, I can pay attention to all that shit. I can watch Bluey edit and have a conversation with you at the same time. And as long as I'm engaged in the conversation, I'm fine. The moment I start blocking you guys out, because kids are being loud, you're like, babe,
Yeah.
babe. I'm like, what? Because I'm intentionally not focusing on that. But
Right.
so the point that I'm trying to make there is, wouldn't you rather, if you have the stay-at-home office, wouldn't you rather be able to be engaged with them versus having them off in a corner of the house away from everyone? I understand the need to have an office where you can leave so you can actually stop that work mindset. That's beneficial for a lot of people. I don't need that.
Right.
When I sit down on the couch, it's not me. I'm not working anymore. And that's exactly what I did last night. After I built all that shit, I turned around, sat down on the couch, like, all right, I'm done. I'm relaxing now. And then we watched TV for like an hour and a half and went to bed.
Yeah. I don't remember where I fell asleep. I've been so exhausted for like the last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like a slouch.
You ready to keep reading?
I am.
Okay. So, with more piling on my schedule, he realized how little we were seeing each other and how maxed out he was. He hired another artist and receptionist to alleviate some of the bills and client load and started working only 4 days a week. Now, in 2023, he has more free time where I seem to have none.
I'm going to pause you.
Okay.
Hiring a manager. Like, I pay my manager very well, but hiring a manager was the best decision I could have ever made for my studio.
Yeah.
Because it allowed me to focus on tattooing when I was still tattooing, and I didn't have to worry about the front counter at all. And then I was able to start removing myself from the shop. Like, I didn't have to go to work every day. And instead of spending 12 to 13 hours a day at a tattoo studio, I could go in until 2 or 3 and then go fuck off for the rest of the day. Or I could go take pictures on the other coast and come in at noon. Like, it got to the point where I could actually be the owner of the business, but it took me, I don't know, 10 years to get there.
Right.
But if I would have known then what I know now, I would have budgeted money and like taken less in life to be able to have hired her sooner to have made that work. Because having an actual manager there to do the job while you're doing the other things and remove some of that workload from you allows you to do other shit. And it's allowed me to open other businesses. It's allowed us to do the podcast. Like, yeah, it's a huge decision on my part.
So my question now is, they've been together for 3 years.
Yep.
Why aren't you living together yet?
Good question.
That would alleviate a lot of the issues that you guys are having where you're not seeing each other. If you moved in together and say you went down to part-time, you guys' income should be able to supplement whatever's going on. Should be.
Well, yeah, because you have one income or like one living expense instead of multiple.
Right. I don't know what her career path is. She didn't say what it was. She said that she was leveling up through work.
Right, but that means, I mean, that could be anything. That could literally be, I'm now a cashier at Walmart instead of a door greeter. Like, you know what I mean? That's technically a level up.
Right.
So without details, we don't know.
I think there should be conversations of moving in together.
Went from fries to the register at McDonald's.
Is that a level up?
I mean, technically, it's not really.
I don't know
it's
how
not.
that
It's not a
works.
pay increase. I would rather do the fries than have to deal with the clients that come to the customers that come into McDonald's. But it was a joke. I know why they're not living together in 3 years, because they only see each other at very small interactions, which allows them to miss each other, but allows them both to live their lives. And if he's a business owner and a tattoo artist, and he wants to do conventions or he wants to do whatever he wants to do as a tattoo artist, he doesn't have to answer anybody.
Okay.
He gets to go do that shit. And like, they're not invested like that.
So I can understand that. There's also now a child involved who views him as a father.
Right.
So
How though? How does the child view him as a father if they're only
Because-
seeing each other once or twice a week?
were you not listening?
I know I was, but
He said he
It's
took
c-
in my son with open arms, immediately fell into the role of a father figure.
right in 2020 during COVID.
Right. So we went on dates. We went hiking. He took us on several vacations.
I get that. I heard it. I heard all of it.
So he spent like a year
Right.
just doing things with his family.
And for the last 2 years, that's not been the case. They've only seen each other once or twice a week. And if they're seeing each other once or twice a week, how many times of that is it with the kid? Like, this just doesn't sound like a very invested relationship to me. That's really what I get from it. I guess it's the easiest way to put it, because I know that if I wanted to see my woman every single day and I was tired from coming home from work, I'd be like, hey, I'm not going to be home till 8 o'clock tonight. I'm going to go get an electronic keypad on the door or give you a key. If you want to go to my place after work and have dinner, you can cook dinner and I'll be home at 8 o'clock. We can have dinner as a family, watch a movie, and then you can stay the night.
Right.
There are things that you can do to make that happen if that's what's really what you want. I don't.
There's a resolution to everything. You just
Yeah.
have to have the conversations about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that when you want something to be a certain way, you make it happen.
Lately, it seems like our relationship dynamic is completely switched. Though the studio is still busy, he has more free time than before, and now it's my busy schedule that has started to put a strain on our relationship. He misses my son and I, wants to see more of us, and wants me to be present when we are together. I like to read, write, play video games to distress. None of this is a crazy ask, but I feel so stretched thin, like my time is no longer my own. Instead, it belongs to everyone else now. Okay, so I'm going to pause before you get into what you're going to get into. So the dynamic hasn't switched. When I view a dynamic in a relationship, I view the masculine and the feminine,
Yeah.
the dominant and the submissive, the final decision maker and the one who feeds into the opinions. When I hear a dynamic switch, I view you going to be in the housewife and I'm the breadwinner. You saying that you feel like you don't have any time anymore and that you're stretched thin and that your workload is now the issue and putting the strain on the relationship, those are just issues. That's not a dynamic swap.
Things that's got to be worked through.
Right.
He should call her and be like, you see your customers more than you see me.
Whoa.
I do the same thing to her that she did to him in the beginning. I'm kidding. Guys, don't do that. Like,
Petty
that's
spaghetti.
Yeah, it is. It's just funny to me because that's
Yeah.
where my brain went.
That would be my knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah. I would do it as a joke.
Yeah.
I really would. And then be like, full disclosure, I'm only kidding. Like,
Yeah.
I had an opportunity to get back at you a little bit, so I did.
Mm-hmm.
I see his point, though. if he's got all this free time and he took steps to make his business work so that you guys can spend time together, and now you're unavailable and not present when there, that's a problem. And if you like to read and write and play video games to decompress while he's wanting to spend time with you, it's not that you're stretched thin, it's that you're prioritizing video games, reading, and writing over the time that you get to spend with this person who's invested in you and your child. Perspective.
It sounds like she almost went from an anxious attachment style to an avoidant one.
Yeah.
She saw that he wasn't feeding into the anxious attachment style and that I was actually giving her the opposite reaction she wanted. So to compensate, she went from one extreme to the other. So now she's being avoidant and going, well, if I show that I'm attached, or if I show that I want her, or if I show that I'm clingy, I'm going to get hurt.
Yeah.
If I show that I make all this time and he tells me that he only is going to give me 30 minutes, I'm going to get hurt.
Here's another thought. You're working a full-time job. You have a child. That's like most people that have kids have to work full-time jobs and have kids. If it's two parents in the same household and there's not a stay-at-home, both parents are working full-time jobs and taking care of the kids, and they still manage to find ways to make dates for each other and to prioritize the time for each other because they make decisions to make their relationships work. Having a full-time job and raising a child sucks, but it's not impossible, and it's not the end of the world to do it. Working 80 hours a week and trying to be a parent is very different than working a full-time job and being a parent.
Yeah.
Especially when your kid is old enough to start going to school or daycare. And you go to, that's the whole point of those hours. Why do you think the school hours are what the school hours are? It's a way that they can get kids to go to school so the parents get a break. That's why people don't homeschool. It really is. Like if you had the ability to homeschool your kids and you didn't have to work, I think that a lot more people would pull their kids out of the school system because I got to be honest, the school system's a fucking joke.
Yeah, it is.
Kids get bullied left and right. They're being fucking taught shit they shouldn't. Indoctrinated by fucking government policies. I don't know. My libertarian is showing. I'm going to stop now. My point in all of that, it's a decision. She's making a decision to do these things. It's a choice. Prioritize your person. How's your relationship? I don't mean like how's the intimate sexual relationship, but like how are your relationships with other people? You got time for your other friends? Do you have time for your family members? Are you making time to be present with your kid? Where are you prioritizing things? Because you're making decisions on what is a priority to you. And he's way the fuck down that line after he changed his life around to make it work for you. Priorities, decisions, and choices.
So I said like my time is no longer my own, and you look like you wanted to make a point of that sentence.
Because that was the point that I made about the decision making.
Okay.
It's a choice. Your time is absolutely your own. You're choosing to spend it the way that you're choosing to spend it, and then you realize there's not enough time left in the day to do the other things. If you prioritize and you time management, because everyone has the same 24 hours in a day, and there are women who are married to men who work 80 hours a week, and the men still make time to be a father. The relationship might get strained, but they fucking make it work. If you want something bad enough, you'll figure a way to make that shit work. And if you don't, just say that.
Right. Instead, it belongs to anyone else. Now I feel like he is asking more than I can give at the present moment. I thought once I got my degree that I would have more free time, but instead it seems like new things are added to replace that in my schedule. He's never expressed feeling neglected until recently, and it hurts to hear that he feels this way because he's always been so independent.
Being independent and being neglected isn't the same thing.
Yeah,
it doesn't correlate.
So now I'm going to ask you, why do you correlate those two things?
Right.
Codependency and needing intimacy in a relationship are two totally different things.
Yep. Yeah. Neglecting somebody is very different than them being independent.
Right.
Sounds to me she's finally getting to a point where she's having to adult for real in life. And she's realizing that it sucks and that it's not as easy as she thought it was going to be. And she's overwhelmed.
Yeah.
But I also think that she's prioritizing shit that she shouldn't be prioritizing. I understand wanting to have hobbies, writing, reading, playing video games, if that's your thing. But if that's what you want to do every single day, you obviously want that more than you want a man. No different than the dudes who fucking go home and play video games for 8 hours. The video game is more important than their family.
Right.
You make time for what is important. It's just all there is to that. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes life happens. But that's not an all the time thing. And if that's the way life is going, you stay up 2 hours later at nighttime than you would have. We do it all the time.
We do it all the time.
Yeah.
And she said he's only working 4 days a week. So that's 3 nights a week where you can come home and cook dinner. Or he can have dinner cooked if you're getting home at 6 o'clock in the evening.
Right.
And you guys can have 3 nights a week where you're doing family shit together.
Yep.
That could be 3 mornings a week where you go for morning walks before the son goes to school, before you have to go to work.
Yeah.
You would have to wake up earlier for it. But that's quality time as a family.
Right. But they would have to, that comes down to making those decisions and actually wanting it. Prioritizing your time.
I'm really hung up on the fact that she said that feeling neglected and being independent correlate.
Yeah.
They really don't. Just to put that in perspective, that's like saying a neglected child should be independent.
Right.
An infant has to be fed, can't feed itself.
Right.
To expect an infant to be independent and not get neglected in that manner is asinine to say. So carrying that into what she just said, those two don't correlate. You really have to change your perspective on how you're viewing that. And it sounds like there's a lot of damage in your mind going on that you got to sort out. I just don't know what else I can do. Like I said before, we don't live together. So seeing each other at home isn't a possibility.
It is, though.
It is a possibility. Moving in together also isn't a possibility because he takes care of his grandmother for half the year. And there isn't just space for 4 people in his house.
You hear how people speak in definites?
Yes.
Have you noticed that? Like, we don't, and I know that you and I don't do that. Things are never set in stone, ever.
Oh, yeah.
We make plans and then contingencies. And then after we have all the contingencies, we go, okay, what can go wrong so that we can have backup plans for every one of those plans? And then more plans. And then as things move around and evolve, like we place them there where they need to go and things work the way we want them to work based off of the decisions we make. But to say spending time with each other at home is not possible means that you are putting it on the table that there's no possibility that you guys are going to get a bigger place that all 4 of you could live in. You're saying that you're not willing to give him a key or vice versa. She can't get a key to his house or whatever. Which means there's no possibilities for intimate dinner times or like you said, morning walks. You are eliminating literally half of your day.
Yeah.
12 hours of your day from the time it gets dark till the time it goes, you know what I mean? Sundown.
He's also a business owner. Why doesn't he schedule his days off with yours?
He could. Maybe he did at one point. Maybe he did. Either way, she's not even working the hours that he's working. If she's working a 40 to 45 hour week, she's working 5 days a week. So why aren't you guys spending time on the weekends? I know Saturdays are big days for tattoo artists, but Sundays are normally free. Most shops are closed on Sundays. I don't know. It's decisions. All of this is indefinites. We can't. It's not possible. And I don't see it that way.
Yeah.
He's a fucking business owner. You're working a full-time job and you've leveled up in life if you've put it. So why can't the two of you come together and get a big place?
Right.
In Florida, where we live, if he's got a 2-bedroom and you've got a 2-bedroom, there's almost $4,000 a month going out in rent. You can get a 4 or 5 bedroom house for cheaper than that.
Yeah. Both of us are also so independent that we are okay with not living together for the time being because our relationship is so strong.
Is it though?
Your
Because
relationship is not strong because he's telling you he's feeling neglected.
Right. Yep.
This is all over the place.
It is.
Okay.
And it sucks because I personally am relating to him because I am that guy.
Yeah.
He's 2 years older than me. I have a younger woman. I own a tattoo studio. I've been in the tattoo industry since 1997. Like, I'm doing a thing. You can make it work.
Yeah.
You were a body piercer who was working the crazy fucking hours that I was working as a tattoo artist, and we still managed to make time to go on dates and do shit.
With having 2 kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 children involved.
Because we made ourselves a priority.
Yeah.
Hey, I think that we really have an opportunity to have a fucking run at life. Let's go get dinner. We went and got dinner. Let's go do that again. Let's go axe throwing. Let's go to Tennessee. Let's go do shit. Let's fucking live our life in a way that is going to set ourselves up so that when we look back 30, 40, 50 years from now, we have a life full of memories and not regrets. Let's give our time to each other instead of to our career, because we can do both. You can fucking put in the work and grind and hustle and make money and do all of that shit that you need to do to set yourself up so that you can live that dope life to retire and have all of that vacation time and do all of that shit and still spend time with your person.
Yeah.
You just have to figure out where your priorities lie.
And for those of you who say, well, that's not possible working the job that I'm working, then work for yourself.
Yep. Find another job. Find a way around it. That I can't mindset is nonsense. When I owned a gym, if somebody came in the gym and like we were doing something and they said I can't, I made them do burpees.
Yeah.
I don't like that shit. That I can't mindset does not fucking fly with me. You're a victim. But I can't do it. You're right. You can't.
Yeah.
You are absolutely right. You can't.
I believe you when you say that.
Yep.
So she said, both of us are so independent that we're okay with not living together for the time being because our relationship is so strong. So 1, I don't think your relationship is strong as you think it is. And 2, I don't think you understand what independent truly means. With the examples that you've given in the email you sent on how you use the word independence and independent, I would say that you are almost leaning in towards hyper independence to the point to where you're subconsciously afraid of relying on another person for anything. Emotional needs, intimacy needs, financial needs, whatever.
Sounds lonely.
Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is.
Okay.
I don't know if it's fear. It's definitely lonely.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason if this is a trauma thing or something that's happened in the past that she can't get over or he can't, because they both had really bad traumatic long-term relationships, according to her.
Right.
You guys are letting that shit dictate your now. Like that falls right back into what I said before we started the emails.
Right.
And to be clear, guys, I'm not being mean. Like I'm not frustrated or angry. I'm not being shitty in these scenarios. There's a whole lot of I can't mentality there. And like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you're right. All of these things are a fucking problem, but you're choosing them.
Right. It still doesn't change the fact that our busy schedules are putting serious strain on us. I guess my question is, how do we begin to mend this complete dynamic change? I don't view it as a dynamic change.
Right.
Am I wrong in saying that?
I think it's based on how you define the word dynamic.
It sounds like they're really not even a very serious committed relationship.
Right. The roles of the situation reversed because she wasn't working crazy hours in the beginning and he was. And she got to nag and complain about his work hours and be a mess over the fact that he was working the way it was. And he backed off and now she's working crazy hours. Well, a full-time job. It's not the same thing, but it's really not the same thing. To compare that your crazy work schedule to somebody who's working 80 hours a week, 65 to 80 hours a week, it's not the same thing. I don't know. There's nothing I can tell you. In this situation, you are making decisions for all of these things to happen. This is pure choice because you say I can't do this and he can't do that and we can't and we can't and we can't. Instead of saying, okay, I want to spend 5 more hours a week with you. What do we have to do to make that happen? Well, I'm gonna need to get to your place. Wednesday night is gonna be fucking crab legs and beer. And we're gonna do it every Wednesday night. And like I will get off of work at 4 early, whatever, and I'll come over and get this shit boiling. Like it's not hard to do those kind of things. Season the fucking water and throw the crab legs in there. Let them boil. Like
Right.
I don't understand the I can't. If you want something bad enough, you will fucking make that happen. It's just all there is to that. I can't imagine my life being so busy that I don't have time for you anymore.
I couldn't imagine that either.
I'm gonna lose sleep. I'm gonna be a grumpy, miserable fuck to everyone on the planet but you because I'm not getting an extra 2 hours of sleep anymore because I'm gonna spend that time with you.
Yeah, I've been staying up. Well, I've been trying to stay up until like midnight, 1 o'clock.
Right. Well, my sleep schedule shifted again. I went through this weird thing where like I was sleeping for 8 to 10 hours a night and I'm sleeping on average 4 again. We go to bed at midnight. I lay there from midnight until almost 2 o'clock in the morning and I'm up every morning at 5:30, 6 o'clock. I got up this morning at 4:30 and I laid there from 4:30 to 5:30 and fell asleep for like 45 minutes and woke back up.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with that. I can function without that much sleep. All I need is a 15-minute power nap, and I can do that in my car. I turn a fucking AC on, my little seat coolers. 15 minutes, all I need.
Yeah.
Little Nicky, that shit. I'm sleeping. No, I'm not.
We have a very happy, healthy, and loving relationship, but spending so much time away from your significant other has begun to take a toll. We both need the tools to figure out what we can do to improve our quality time together. Time management.
Mm-hmm. Make them a priority so that they stay a significant.
Right. So if you're getting off of work, don't spend 3 hours reading or writing. Spend 30 minutes reading and then spend the rest of that time with him.
Right. This really isn't a hard thing.
Yeah.
It sounds like she's just overwhelmed and doesn't want to make changes because it's easier to complain than it is to fix. It's easier to be like, well, this is just the way our life is, than it is to lose an extra hour of sleep or to give up that one night of video games. Mm-hmm. Because I got to be honest, in a scenario where you have somebody that's telling you they feel neglected in the relationship and your hobbies are reading, writing, and playing video games, if that was you and I'm like, hey, I feel neglected in the relationship, and you're like, yeah, but it's Thursday night, I'm gaming tonight.
Imagine you coming to me and saying, I'm feeling neglected. And I go, I thought you were independent.
Yeah.
What do you mean you're feeling neglected?
I really hung up on that, huh?
I am, yeah. What a shitty thing to think.
Yeah.
I don't think she meant it in that way. From an outside perspective, I couldn't imagine hitting somebody with that when they were saying, I'm feeling emotionally neglected. I'm feeling intimately neglected. I just feel like you're not making time for me. This is something I crave in our relationship.
Yeah.
You're kind of being a pussy. Be independent. That's not what she said. That's the vibe that I get from that. What?
I am a very headstrong individual.
Yes.
And my response to that would have been, well, if you can't make time for me, somebody else will. I know my worth.
Right.
And I'm not going to downplay who I am as a person and what I believe my self-worth is to be neglected by somebody. And if I come to you with a problem and say, hey, this is an issue, and you're like, get fucked, that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Bye. That's all there is to that. I'm coming to you with a problem that needs resolution. We need to discuss this and figure out a way to work through this. And I don't want to hear I can't. I don't want to hear we can't. I don't want to hear that this isn't possible. I want to start having a pros and cons list on the things that need to change so that we can make this shit a thing. Because I need to be a priority at some facet in our lives. And if I'm not, I'm out.
Mm-hmm. The kids don't even say I can't.
No.
I make them correct themselves.
Yeah. And then we make them do whatever they said they can't do.
Mm-hmm. And they get super excited when they did it.
Yeah. And high fives.
Yep.
Yeah.
You ready for the next one?
I am.
Okay. Relationship advice. Where am I missing the mark?
Okay.
First of all, let me say I love your relationship.
I love my relationship too.
What a coinky dink.
You love your relationship also?
Crazy.
Love that. All kinds of love.
Huh. I can see how secure you both feel. I love it. Okay, now onto my relationship. My husband and I have been together for 15 years. We've had some pretty dark days, but we love each other and have always made it through.
Because you made the decision to do so.
Mm-hmm. We are definitely cut from different cloths. By that, I mean we are very different. He doesn't cuss, and fuck is like my top vocab word.
Samey. Although she cusses.
I do. I'm trying to cut back on it.
Yeah, I actually have been too.
Yeah. He has a great extended family. Mine sucks.
Same.
He didn't have a lot of toxic exposure, but my day-to-day was lived in fight or flight.
Same.
He's calm and I'm anxious.
I'm not anxious. Not calm either, but I'm not anxious.
Yeah.
We're on par up until that point.
We have a relationship shattering year in 2020. We went to therapy and decided to work on us. Things have been going well. Here is where it stops going well. His dad. We are renting to own a home from him. His dad doesn't speak to him at all unless it's time to collect the rent every month. Okay, so a little bit of a tumultuous relationship with dad.
Yep.
I wonder how that happened because they are renting to own a house from him.
It's a business transaction.
I'm less inclined to help family if I don't like them.
Yeah, but money is money. And when you rent to own, you get that interest rate. So if I owned a house and we sold it to your mom as like a rental property where she gets to rent to own, all of the interest that's on the mortgage payments every month that she's making comes to me. So what I was saying is in the event that I rented your mom a house that I owned, and let's say I owned it outright, right? No mortgage. And it was worth $200,000 and we did a rent to owner financing, and I charged her 6% interest. I'm making that 6% interest on top of what she's paying every month because I own the house.
Right.
And in the event that she defaults on the payment, all that interest is gone and the house reverts back to me. So like there is a business transaction in that. That's a dangerous game.
So I appreciate you explaining that because I did not know that. My point is, if they were already not on good terms, I want to know how that conversation came about.
Yeah.
Of, hey, I know you have this place. You're looking to rent it out. Can we set up an agreement?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe they were on good terms. I don't know. No detail. This chair has somehow ended up against the wall, and every time I move, I can hear it like on the paint.
But when it comes that time, he's very passive and goes, hey, son, I want to take you to lunch or I want to spend time together. Never, hey, I want the rent money. I mean, is that a bad thing?
Wouldn't it just be easier to be like, yo, rent's due?
What if he's like trying to have like relationship building with his son?
I don't know.
Well, last year there was a hiccup in my husband's pay and we were unable to give his dad the full amount. His dad completely berated him. I was furious. I do not tolerate disrespect from anyone towards anyone at all. What made it worse is my husband wasn't the one who told me his mother was. His parents are divorced. So I bring it up to my husband. He's like, it's no big deal. I firmly disagree. So I suggested, since I'm the one who handles our finances, that I should be the one to pay his dad every month. But my husband said no, he doesn't want me involved, and that will only make it worse. My husband and I are arguing anytime his dad gets brought up because he's so passive that he's letting his dad gaslight him, but I'm so passionate about him knowing his worth that it's pissing me off. I've tried to explain this to him, but he says he doesn't understand. Please help.
So maybe dude actually just loves his dad.
Yeah.
And just because dad is a shitty person, it doesn't mean that his son doesn't love him. Mm-hmm. This needs to be treated as a business transaction. You are buying a house from somebody with an owner finance. So if you can't pay the rent, that's a fucking problem.
Right.
You should that should have been a phone call. Hey, we need to defer a payment. Is it something you're willing to do? This should have been drawn up in a contract in case of an emergency moving forward in the beginning. How does this look? How does that work? If you need to defer a payment, is that something you're going to allow me to do, Dad, as I buy this house from you? Because sometimes money gets tight. Or what happens if I get cancer? How's that going to look? Are you going to kick me out, take all the money that I put into it and resell the house to someone else? Like, these are conversations that should have been had in the beginning before getting to this point.
I agree.
I also don't think that it's right that the mom got involved and told you. There's too many people with their hands in the basket here.
It is very middle school.
Telephone game.
Yes.
Yep. How'd the mom even find out? Because if the son didn't tell the wife, I'm pretty sure he didn't tell the mom. And if they're divorced, I'm sure the dad didn't go to the mom and be like, hey,
gossiping.
Yeah. You'll never believe what your son did. He couldn't pay the mortgage. Like that I could see being a problem, but why would you call? I don't know. There's a whole lot of information. I have questions.
There's also a reason that he didn't come to you and tell you that this happened, because clearly it's a point of contention for you two.
Right.
And he didn't want to hear you berate him over it.
Right. Yeah. I'm sure. Yeah. I'm willing to bet that he didn't want an argument with you. Mm-hmm. Why? Okay. Here's a really good question. If I got in a situation where my adopted mom got mad at me and we had it out, knowing that I love my adopted mom.
Right.
And if she told me she was disappointed in me for something, I would fall apart. Like it would affect me hard.
Yeah.
But let's say something happened and you disagreed with the way she handled it. And then because you want to say something, I'm like, no, just let it go. And you get mad at me and start bitching at me. I now have the two women in my life that mean the most to me ripping me the fuck apart. What do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to turn inward and isolate and separate myself from both of you. We are not going to have a functional relationship. I'm not going to be vulnerable with you because God forbid I have a moment where I fucking need my partner to be my crutch, only to have you turn around and fucking explode on me and we have a problem because of something else that's going on when I need to vent because I feel bad. This comes down to how is your relationships with people.
Yeah. I could not imagine having a upsetting moment with my mom or with my sister and then coming to you and you getting mad at me for how I handled the situation. Like, I just had this very devastating moment with somebody close to me. And like you just said, and now you're going to give me grief on top of that?
Yeah. No, you don't do that. Even if you're wrong, even if you were in your wrong, I would let you have it all out. I wouldn't say shit. I would just listen. I'm sorry, babe, that you're going through it. I'm here for you. I'd hug you, whatever needed to happen. A couple of days go by when you're calm and all that shit has hashed out. We would have a discussion about what was going on and be like, hey, maybe we should try this next time in handling it. And I would give you my perspective on the way things should move forward. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm literally just going to give you my thoughts on how we can make that situation better because nothing's definite. We can always find ways around shit. We just have to think about it. I don't know. But I damn sure wouldn't fucking jump on you and like, oh man, I can't imagine what that dude feels like. I feel so bad for him.
So I'm reading back a little bit, and she never really gave any examples on how he is super passive or how he berated him or how he's gaslighting him.
But she said they fight over it.
She did say they fight about it. So she said that his dad completely berated him. So did he berate him by calling him names like you're a lazy piece of shit? Or was he saying things like, this is the third time this has happened where you've missed payments. This is kind of getting unacceptable. I need you to get your shit together so that you can stay in this house.
Right.
Because that's two different.
It is. And as a father, you want your son to do right.
Right.
So if the kid's fucking up, you want to tell him like, hey, come on, man. Like, get your shit together. This is the third time. If that's the case, we don't know if that's the case.
Yeah, I just made that up.
But if my daughter called me and she's got the same problem every single time she calls me, I'll be like, are you serious? You literally just went through this 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
You went through this 2 months ago. 6 months ago, it was the same thing. When are you going to get your shit together? Like, and it's not from a place of, I can't fucking believe you're a mess. I can't believe you're messing up. It's going to come from a place of, I know that you're better than this. I want to see you do well in life. Get your shit together.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I really don't get it. I really don't get why you would want to put yourself in a position to put you and your person at odds when they're in a situation with it. Here's another question. If she handles the finances and he's the one that deals with the dad, if there were other times where the mortgage wasn't paid on time, would she even know about it?
She would have to. She handles the finances.
Maybe.
Okay, hang on. I need you to repeat what you just asked me. Did you just ask me if the mortgage payment was late, would she know about it?
Right, because he pays the dad. She handles the finances, he pays the dad.
Like giving him the money to pay the dad?
Yeah, because that's the way she worded it. She said that I want to handle that part of it and he won't let me, even though I handle the finances.
Oh.
So, do we know that this is the first time that this has been an issue?
I don't understand how that would make it worse.
What do you mean?
Because she did suggest that she would be the one to pay his dad every month. And the husband said no, you getting involved would only make it worse.
It's a check in the mail.
Right.
Whoever signs the check doesn't fucking matter. If he has to go see his dad and they go to lunch once a month and that's when he gives him that rent check, maybe he wants to have lunch with his dad.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the dad's one interaction with his kid a month. And she just doesn't like the dad because there's a business contract in there and there's issues. There's a whole lot of weird what ifs in this whole thing.
Yeah. If I were this person, if this were us, and we were living in a house that we were renting to own from your father, that is your dad. I'm not getting involved. I'm not giving opinions. If you came to me about something and said, hey, can I get your advice on how to handle this? I would give my advice. But I'm not going to randomly say your dad's a dick. You need to get that shit under control.
Right.
That is your relationship with your father. I am your wife. I am not here to add to that stress. I'm not here to exacerbate. It's not the right word, but that's the only word coming to mind. I'm not here to put fire on it.
Right.
Or add fuel to the fire. I would stop being involved in any of this.
What would you do if it was that we were renting to own from your mother and I handled finances? You going to write that check or am I writing that check?
You're going to write that check.
Because I handled finances.
Right.
Why? I don't understand why this is an issue. Even if I wrote the check and you wanted to have lunch with your mom once a month and that's when you handed it to her, I'm writing the check.
Yeah, it would be in an envelope. Here you go.
Well, I don't understand why this is an issue. I really, truly don't understand why this is an issue. The issue that I see in all of this is that he got shit on by his dad and then by his wife.
Yeah.
Over the same incident.
And it's repetitive because she said it's been a issue for the last 2 or 3 years?
Which means this isn't the first time that they've had an issue with the payments.
I don't know if it's just the payments. I don't know if there's outside issues between the father and son that's happening. Yeah. Do not get involved with not other family drama, but husband's family drama, wife family drama. You guys keep that separate.
Yeah.
If my sister and my mom are fighting, you don't need to know what's going on in that.
Yeah, I don't care.
Right.
I love you.
Yeah.
I care about you. No offense, mom and sis, because I know you guys watch some of these. She's my priority. That's it. That's as far as that goes.
Yeah.
Like, you are my world. Everything else is by proxy. So if mom and sister need something or they're doing something, we discuss that. You are my concern.
Right.
Everything else that happens beyond that, I mean, I care because I care about you. But that's the extent of where my caring goes.
Right.
And I don't care how horrible of a person that makes me sound. You are my priority. Everything else doesn't matter to me.
Yeah. If your sister and your brother were fighting, I'd be like, damn, that sucks.
Sucks for them.
Right.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I'm not fighting. They
I'm
are.
not being in that. I'm not being part of that.
Yep.
If you're going through it with your sister and you wanted to vent, I would let you vent, but I'm not jumping on any bandwagon or you need to set whatever straight. That's your family.
Yeah.
I'm not telling you how to handle your family. That's one of those boundaries to me that shouldn't be crossed.
I agree. I'm not having it out with my family either.
Yeah, no, I want to clarify. We don't do that.
Right. Like, if my mom had an issue with me, my adopted mom, I would listen because I love and respect her. And I love my sister and my brother too. But if they get mad at me, that's a them problem. My world doesn't end because somebody's got drama or beef. I'm going to do what I'm doing. And you can either get over that shit or you can hold a grudge. But my life is not going to get uprooted because you got a problem. I don't give a fuck. I don't. I have other things that take priority in my life than to worry about what other people are feeling.
Right.
And my brother and sister listen to the podcast. They can verify that shit.
Oh, your brother listens too?
From time to time.
That's so dope.
Yep. He said that he was, yes, from time to time.
That's crazy. Oh, I got recognized at McDonald's yesterday.
Yeah?
Yeah. Oh, there were 2 times we got recognized that we didn't talk about. So before we get into the next email, so our DoorDasher recognized us.
Yeah.
I bet you thought I was getting kidnapped.
I did. I was in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Number 2. And I hear some screaming. And I jump up and grab my pistol and run out of the bedroom half naked, unwiped, thinking that some terrible thing was happening out there. And by the time I got towards the front door, I could hear you giggling.
Yeah.
And could hear them giggling. And I'm like, okay, well, things are safe now. I'm going to go wipe my ass.
Yeah.
I did not appreciate that night at all. Had to shower afterwards. Was a mess.
It was terrible for you, but that was such a cool moment for me. Like, I go out there and I'm dressed in whatever I'm getting ready to wear for the live that night. And I go to get the bag and I was like, I did like my robotic, thank you, have a nice night.
Yeah.
Human interaction. She goes to hand me the bag and she goes, you have a podcast. And I was like, yeah. And she was like, I love you and your husband. And she's like running back to her car. So she's shouting at me and I can tell she's rushing. She's like, you guys are fantastic. I listen to you every day. And I was like, thank you. What's your name? And she was like, my name's Mandy. And then she left. Yeah. And then yesterday at McDonald's, I believe her name was Summer.
Yep, that's what it was.
Yeah, she recognized me. She handed me the bag. She was like, you're on TikTok. And I was like, yeah. And she was like, oh my God, I love your guys' podcast. You guys give such great advice. And I was like, thank you.
We really have to remember to take pictures with people.
You know, I was going to ask her to take a picture. I wanted to take a picture with Mandy, but she was in
a hurry.
She was rushing.
I saw that because I got to the door and she was like, yeah. Gone.
And then yesterday, I was ready for it, but there were 8 cars behind me at McDonald's, and I didn't want to get her in trouble.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. It's so cool getting recognized.
Yeah.
I love that you guys enjoy seeing us and that you guys are actually enjoying the podcast and getting information and having a good time. I never thought we would have 2 rooms dedicated to podcasting.
3 setups.
3 setups. And I now have my own workspace within the home.
Yep.
All because a bunch of you guys on TikTok told us to start a podcast.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And we did. Ready for the next one?
Yes, I have to.
I love the facial expressions you make. That just completes it for me. Oh, we didn't turn the light on.
Hey, thanks for letting me know. Glad you cleared that up.
Is that what you got up to do? I need you to clarify. Is that what you got up to do?
Yeah.
I thought you were getting up to fix your chair. No.
Oh, man. All right, let's get into the next one.
I'm glad I could be of help.
Yeah, super helpful. Super helpful.
I can't breathe. Oh man, that was so funny. Marriage question. My wife and I have been together for over 5 years and married for 2.5. Last night, I went with her to a work meeting. Okay. During the meeting, I was working on a puzzle on my phone, and her phone was on the table next to me facing up. A text came through from a secondary messaging service, WhatsApp, but all I could see when I glanced at it was the app itself. I didn't think much of it initially, but I did take notice that she immediately grabbed her phone, bringing it to her, away from my view, was on it for a minute, and then put the phone back facing down. Now, I didn't initially react or ask about it because we were in a meeting. I did notice some increased anxiety behavior, fidgeting, hands rubbing together, restless legs. When I asked about it later after we were home, she said it was a spam message.
Bullshit.
Yeah. Do you have some thoughts?
WhatsApp is a messenger.
Right, it's a messaging app.
Do you get spam apps on Facebook Messenger?
No.
WhatsApp is owned by Meta.
Yeah, don't you have to give out that number for people to...
It's through your phone number. WhatsApp is a messenger service. It is literally just another way to text message people.
Right, but doesn't it create a fake number?
No.
Like you have to enter into WhatsApp?
You put your phone number in it. And if you ever go from phone to phone, when you log back into WhatsApp, you log in with your phone number. You're not getting spam on WhatsApp. You might get a wrong text message every once in a while, like from a random person.
Okay.
But it's based off your phone number.
So when she's saying a spam message, like a pop-up ad.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way.
Okay.
At least it didn't when I used WhatsApp. It's been like a year since I've been on there. It could have changed, but I used to use WhatsApp for business shit.
Yeah. I said I thought that was weird because when I had the app for a few years prior, and I had never received a spam message on it.
There you go.
She then did a Google search of whether or not it's possible to get spam messages on the app.
Okay.
Why? That's strange.
Because she's feeling defensive or a need to be defensive?
Right.
Because she feels like you're accusing her because guilty mind?
Right, guilty mind. That's...
Yeah.
I would never think to Google. I would also show you. If I received like a weird message or like a pop-up ad, I'd be like, hey, have you ever seen this? Is this a thing? That's just me though.
You wouldn't hide it from me and put it face down so that I couldn't see what's going on?
I would have looked at it and been like, you would have seen it on my face and you've been like, what is that?
Right.
Yeah. I'm so glad that my facial expressions are so pervasive.
I'm so glad that you're honest and I don't have to worry about that shit.
Yeah. I couldn't imagine not being honest. I've watched Dr. Phil for the last 2 days, right? And there are people on there who have lied about having cancer. What?
I'm in the bathroom last night, and she's like, "Hey, I just want to let you know I've been watching Dr. Phil." I'm like, "Okay." And she said, "We're better than he is. You should just know that." And then walked out of the bathroom. I'm like, "We're better than Dr. Phil, per Peaches."
I'm going to elaborate a little bit. I enjoy Dr. Phil. I think he doesn't take shit. I do think that he kind of panders a little bit sometimes.
Yeah.
And there are times where I think he's just totally off the mark. Like he might have been having a rough time with whatever the situation is. He's just fed up. So
Yeah.
I think we're more entertaining.
So that's why we're better. We're more
Yes.
entertaining. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I didn't need clarification. I was good with it.
Just in case if Dr. Phil ever sees this, I do respect you, Dr. Phil. I was shit talking a little bit. I was. I know that you have masses of millions of followers, and I know that like hierarchy wise, you are definitely up there.
My buddy Tim in Wisconsin said that his mom got rid of the Dr. Phil podcast to put ours on her fucking Spotify. Like this is what she listens to instead of listening to Dr. Phil. So I don't know if that's actually like if he was serious about that. But he did say it. He did say it. I have the message. What's up, Tim's mom?
So, hi, Tim's mom. So, I've been watching Dr. Phil, and there are women on there who have lied about having cancer, and women who have lied about pregnancies and miscarriages, and all of these things. I feel bad when I misremember something, and like I tell you something, and I go, no, that was a lie. Let me take that back.
Yeah.
I could not imagine living a lie every single day. And that's a buildup of guilt.
Yeah.
At some point, you're going to hate yourself so much as a human being that you're not going to recognize yourself. And you're just going to be leeching this toxic ooze.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I think that there are a lot of people out there that lie and have zero guilt and zero shame about it. They just don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, clearly, there are people who lie about having cancer for years.
Right.
So.
Is there more to that?
Yes.
Okay.
So she did a Google search on whether or not it was possible to get spam messages on the app. Well, what did Google say? You want to Google it real quick?
I don't. I got to be honest. I think that she's cheating on him.
Now, I never said it wasn't possible, just that I hadn't seen it. I told her that I also felt that was a weird way to try and ease my mind of the situation. I agree with that. Definitely a weird... I don't even know what the word is. It's not emotion, not an action. Like a preemptive step.
She's feeling guilty. She's feeling guilty. And he called her on it. So now she's trying to defend her actions to not look guilty. Why not be like, here's my phone.
Right. She's building
There's
a lie,
the spam
though.
message. See? Right here is the spam message.
Mm-hmm.
If it was spam, it would still be there. WhatsApp
Right.
doesn't delete like Snapchat does.
I think preventative measures is what I was looking for.
I think she deleted the fucking message and can't prove that it was spam.
Okay. You're becoming hostile.
No, this is, she's cheating.
Okay.
I'll show you hostile.
You promise?
Your neck's sore. I can't be rough with you right now. You can blame your meat suit.
I hate it in here. Can't breathe through my nose. Can't move half my body. I'm having all of these thoughts. My soul's in it. Just this thing is not.
The little alien that's inside your head piloting your body.
Oh my God.
You're having malfunctions.
I like to think of my actual being, my soul, just being very nice wisps of smoke. Yeah. Like a morning mist.
But trapped inside your body.
Yeah.
And every time you fart, some of your soul escapes. And that's why we die.
Oh my fucking God. What the fuck did you just say to me?
Every time you fart, some of your soul escapes. And when you have none left, you die. Have a really bad car accident, something get punctured, escapes. This meat suit prison keeps everything. I don't know. I'm just fucking making shit up as I go.
No, stop. Why is it making sense?
That would really suck, though, because I fart a lot.
Right.
I'm going to die in my sleep in like 2 weeks, guys.
I feel like you're really shortening your lifespan.
So you're saying I should stop farting? I can't have protein shakes anymore.
No, I don't know. It's very comical, and I like your 1-2 step that you do.
The leg lift.
Yeah.
Let's get back to the email.
Okay.
Fart jokes are funny.
Anytime one of the kids fart, we all laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do. I laugh and then they laugh. It's so funny hearing a 3-year-old, a 4-year-old fart like a grown man.
Yeah.
Absolutely hilarious. Try a weird way to ease my mind. She pointed out that she has never even given me a reason to think that something was going on with someone else.
Other than you grabbed the phone, held it to your face, set it back down upside down so that the screen wasn't up, and were super fidgety for the rest of the night.
Right.
Nonverbal communication there says a whole lot of hiding. Hide and seek champion and start calling you Sasquatch.
I like that. Did he bring up like trust issues, or did she just out of the blue say, I've never given you a reason to think that I'm cheating on you?
She's feeling guilty.
If she just out of the blue said, I've never given you a reason not to trust me that I'm doing something with somebody else, you're telling me something without telling me something.
There's a lot of people who haven't killed anyone yet. Doesn't mean that it's not going to happen one day.
Why did you go there? What?
Because there's not a lot of people out there who've killed people. But that doesn't mean that people don't kill people.
Right.
Just because you've never done it before doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. So if she's never cheated or given reason for him not to trust her, doesn't mean that it's not going to happen.
Okay.
Going. Like a crackhead for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
Gives me a whole lot of reason not to trust.
I'd pull you aside. Be like, hey, I don't know.
Guy, more them chocolate chip cookies.
Stop it. We have had issues in the past with her breaking trust, never with another person, mostly addiction issues.
Well, there you go.
So addiction is a very widespread, multiple category thing. So if she is used to getting a dopamine release from doing a drug, they stop doing that drug, they have to find something else to fill it. Mm-hmm. People start drinking coffee. People start smoking cigarettes. Some people turn to sex. Some people turn to attention on the internet to get whatever they need to satisfy that itch they're having.
Right. But she gave him reasons not to trust because of addiction. So for her to be like, I've never given you a reason not to trust me because of this, you're right in this. But you've given me a whole lot of other reasons not to trust you. And because that trust is shattered and it's held back together with some Dermabond and like a little bit of super glue and some gaffer's tape, doesn't mean that this bitch is going to float. Like, come on.
You got to get that flux seal on there.
Yeah.
Smack it.
You got to hit it hard.
The way that he does it.
Yeah. Otherwise it won't work. It's got to be the exact pressure.
Yeah. Pretty sure he does like a little swipe on it.
We are so fucking stupid.
I agreed that she has not done that before until now.
There you go.
But I found the whole situation and her reaction to it to be strange. Oh, I agree. That would definitely be a conversation we are having until you tell me the fucking truth.
Yeah. Bet you she deleted that message.
I don't know. Let's find out. And it left me with a feeling in my gut that I can't ignore. I said I would feel a lot better if she could just show me the spam message so we could move on.
There you go. But it's not there, is it?
She then told me that after receiving the message, she deleted the entire app.
Wow.
That's a very extreme reaction.
Right. Okay. I am almost 100% sure, probably like 98% sure that if she re-downloaded WhatsApp, all those conversations would still be there.
Yeah.
Almost positive. I could be wrong.
More.
But wait, there's more.
Okay. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before.
But if you re-download it,
But I'm pretty sure that at
saves
least
the
the
threads.
contacts that she was talking to will still show up. Could be wrong.
that's a really extreme reaction to a spam message.
Yeah. And I only know that because when you get a new phone and you reinstall WhatsApp, the conversations are there still.
Yeah.
The content of the messages may not be, but the order of the people that you were still talking to will be there.
Yeah.
Or at least your contacts, which means a spam message would be there as a contact. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading into it too much because I think she's cheating.
Okay. The app was originally used to communicate with her last job, which she left a month ago, and removed herself from those chats at that time.
Then why didn't she delete the app then?
Right. I would have just deleted the app.
Right.
There was an app that I used at AT&T when I worked there for across the company communication. Like there were different groups to be in. Once I left that job, I deleted the whole app.
Right.
I wasn't going through and deleting threads or deleting groups. I had no reason outside of work to have that on my phone.
Yep.
That's very strange to me. Why would you keep something if it's only tied to work? Oh,
At a job that you don't work at anymore.
right. So even though the app was not needed anymore, she kept it and only decided to delete it when I saw that message come through on her phone. She restored the app and all the other conversations came back, but nothing from last night.
Yeah, see?
So she deleted the thread and the app.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
And that was important enough to do immediately during her work meeting. I now have trust issues from broken trust in our relationship, and I'm really trying to figure out if I'm being totally unreasonable here or not. I just can't shake this feeling that it seemed so weird and out of character for her. If I get messages I think she would know about, I screenshot and send it to her. She never has to ask. The fact that she knows that I saw that message and knows that there is no longer a reason to use the app, why delete everything that can prove nothing is going on?
Right, because there's something going on. She's hiding something.
Definitely very suspicious behavior. People do this kind of thing and then they wonder why their partner questions them.
Right.
Or questions their loyalty or questions their commitment. Because say it was a spam message or say it was somebody who has been harassing you on other social medias and they found your WhatsApp. You deleting everything out of fear and not disclosing it to your partner now makes you seem guilty as something else.
Do you delete your spam emails?
No, I ignore them.
Do you delete the spam text messages that you get? Hit stop to end this.
No, I have about 40 of them in my phone right now.
Right.
I mean, maybe once a month I'll go through and just clear everything out.
I don't.
No.
How much data is that? How much space is that actually taking on my 1 terabyte iPhone?
I just don't like looking at it.
I don't either. That's why I don't open it. I use like 4 apps on my phone consistently. I use my phone more for like banking and games than I use for anything else. I'm not deleting shit. I'm not. I'll delete apps like that I know I'm not going to ever use, but I'm not. Why would you? I clear notifications. I guess maybe that could be the same thing. If I have a notification, I will go out of my way to figure out how to make that notification go away so I don't have a little red dot next to shit. But I'm not going through and deleting nothing. That doesn't make sense to me. Who does that?
Yeah.
You know how many spam emails I get in a day and how many weird text messages I get and like phone calls that I get from unknown numbers?
It's nonstop.
I just ignore all of it. There's no reason not to. Tell me that there's not something wrong with all of that. That whole thing is fishy. She's doing something foul.
If something like that happened in a relationship I was in, that would be immediate like disqualification for anything happening in the future.
Yeah.
You covered your tracks so bad that there's no coming back from that.
Yeah.
And I already don't trust you. You've lied to me in the past. Why should I believe you now? I can't be in a relationship when there's no trust.
Right. You shouldn't be in a relationship with someone you don't trust. Goes all the way back. Here, this whole email goes into the whole open phone thing.
Yeah.
You can go through my phone, but when you feel the need to, we should just go ahead and call it a day. Because you don't trust me anymore. That's all I need to know. If we don't have trust, we don't have a foundation. We're living in quicksand.
Yeah.
We can just go ahead and end this now, move the fuck on with our lives, have a great day, because you don't trust me. I'm not doing that.
Right.
If I give you reason not to trust me and you start to feel like you don't trust me, there could potentially be something going on. We need to have that fucking talk. We need to have that shit immediately before it gets to the point of actually not having trust so that we can figure out what the issue is or the disconnect is. And then in that scenario where you're like, well, you were holding your phone kind of weird, I'd be like, here you go. I can tell this is making you uneasy. I don't want you to not trust me, and to prove that I haven't done anything wrong, here's my phone.
Right.
That's not the same thing as going, I know you're cheating. Give me your phone. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't get it, man. I really don't get it.
I don't see. I'm trying to think of a solution to this, like how to approach the wife and come to a resolution about this. I don't. This is a game to me. I view that as childish games.
Yeah.
You went out of your way to delete everything so I couldn't see it.
Right.
You're lying about things.
Ask to see the phone and see if she deletes weird text messages that come through. Or log into the email or Facebook and see if those messages get deleted. Well, I guess you wouldn't know. Not on Facebook. But you would know if you opened an email and there was a bunch of fucking junk emails riddled in her inbox. You know she's not deleting shit. I don't even move shit to my spam folder. I don't. My Gmail is almost full. I'm not clearing that shit out. When it tells me that the inbox is full, I'll delete the entire fucking thing.
Yeah.
Start over fresh or create a whole new email. I'm not doing that. Who has time to go through and delete and unsubscribe to everything?
I don't.
Wild.
I really don't.
Wild.
I don't know what advice to give to that situation.
I don't have anything positive to say about this. I don't. I'm not even in this scenario, and she's a liar. She's broken trust about addiction things. This is now a complete breach of trust. And it's one thing if it was actually a message and she put her phone down and got annoyed by it. And then when he was like, what the fuck was that? You've been acting weird. And she's like, it was spam. And then handed the phone.
Right.
That would have been the end of it. Like there's no... Who deletes the entire thread of the conversation and then deletes the app?
Right. Even if it was a super inappropriate message, you could have said, I got this message and it made me very uncomfortable and I don't know where it came from.
Right.
And then let them read it.
It's not what it was, though.
No, it's because there was a back and forth in that thread.
Yep.
It wasn't a spam message. It was a back and forth.
She was using WhatsApp to hide her conversations because it was probably in a folder somewhere. And he just happened to see the shit pop up on her phone. Yeah.
I'm thinking of scenarios where someone would say, yeah, but I love the person and I want to get past this. I personally would not try to find a solution to this.
Yeah.
There's already been breaches of trust in other aspects. This is shady as fuck. This is very trying to manipulate the situation and say, it's just spam. I need you to believe me. It was just spam. It was nothing heinous. I wasn't cheating on you. I know you haven't said that you thought I was cheating on you, but I just want to clarify. I wasn't cheating.
I mean, there's things you can do, open phone policies and lots of conversations, but if they're going to that extent to hide shit from you,
you'll never find it.
Right. They're going to go to a different extent. The only way you're going to get caught is if somebody sends you screenshots of the conversations. Yeah. And even then, that can be fucking lied about and misconstrued.
There's apps now that's a calculator that you type in a certain set of numbers and it takes you to folders and shit. And you wouldn't know that passcode unless you created it. Otherwise, it's a functioning fucking calculator.
It's wild. The extent that people go to hide shit.
Right. Like I said, I don't do well with breaches of trust. You know your life best. We gave you our opinion on what we think the situation is, and that's shady. Very much a breach of trust. I would be questioning the loyalty a little bit. As in regards to moving forward, you know what you want in life. You know what you want from a partner. So you need to ask yourself, is this something that you're willing to tolerate if it happens again?
Yep. And if this is worth staying through.
Yeah.
If this was a one-time instant, it'd be a lot different for me than knowing that the trust has been broken for addiction and other issues.
Right.
It's just an untrustworthy person.
You want to do another one?
Yep.
This one's titled Relationship Advice. I recently came across your videos on TikTok and I've enjoyed watching and listening to your relationship dynamic. The love between you two is beautiful. I'm emailing you both now looking for some guidance. I feel my heart is blinding me from what is best for me, but I'm nervous I may ruin the best relationship I've had.
Before you go any further, if you believe that, it's because you are making a choice to do things that's going to destroy your relationship.
Yeah.
I know that you guys think that like your behavioral patterns and the things that you do, that's just your personality. It's habitual. These are things that you've learned and things that you can fucking unlearn. So if you're doing something that makes your partner feel the wrong way or rub them the wrong way or create problems, you can make the decision to stop doing that shit. Is it going to be easy? No, because you have to reprogram your brain. You have to reset your default settings. But it's fucking possible if that's really what you want. If you want somebody that's going to be there and you want to be... Anyways.
You gonna stop?
Yeah, because otherwise I'm going to ramble and I don't want to do that.
Okay.
Did you find your vape? Because I know that's what you're looking for.
No, I didn't. I've been with my boyfriend for 5 years. Within those 5 years, he has been without a job for over a 6-month time frame, twice. Okay. We are currently starting month 7 of him not having a job, and all the financial responsibilities have fallen onto me. Within the 7-month time frame, it was not up until recently that he began searching for a job.
Before we move on, this is episode 25. Was episode 24 the one where we talked about choice theory and the workless?
I believe so.
Watch that.
Okay.
AJ, put the card in the corner where my finger
corner.
is.
That might be too far in the corner. I think the corner would be like there.
Put it in the corner where my fingers are, AJ.
And then just clip whichever one was correct.
That's big brain shit right there.
Yeah.
Because then nobody will ever know.
Right. Or you can just leave it all in.
It make it sound like I'm a fucking Rolodex of information of our pods. Mislabel them. Change the name so that I'm right. No.
From an outside perspective, it's easy to feel that I deserve more in someone who can be a partner, but my heart keeps reminding me of all the history between us. I understand 5 years is 5 years. 5 years is not that long in a 70-year lifespan.
Yeah, it's really not. But this is also something that could be fixed with the discussion.
Right. I asked that if he doesn't find a job by the end of the month that he moves out, but I'm scared I will lose him.
Oh, so wait a minute. You gave an ultimatum.
Yeah.
So now you know. Okay.
You fucked up giving an ultimatum, I'm gonna be honest.
Because you have to follow through now.
Yeah.
Or you are not going to ever have a boundary line in your relationship ever again if you don't follow through with this. If you're already paying all of the bills, right? It's on you to do that. And you're still in love and he's just not helping financially and he moves out, you are still stuck paying all the bills. The only thing that's going to change is maybe you're not going to help him with his cell phone bill and like groceries. How much is that really going to affect your financial status? And if he's not working, and hypothetically, if he's not working, he should be taking care of the house, making sure things are clean, etc. That does lessen your workload. And if that lessens your workload, wouldn't it be fair to say that it's okay to pay the cell phone bill and to pay for the groceries? Because, I mean, they are making your life easier.
I would have gone that route. Yeah. Doing an ultimatum.
It's dangerous.
It really is dangerous because like you said, now you have to follow through with it or your boundaries will mean absolutely nothing in this relationship. And he might view that as, okay, I get to walk all over her.
Yeah. And it also sets up the future scenarios for breakups to be used as a weapon. Well, if you don't do this, I'll leave. Well, if you don't do that, I'll kick you out. Like, yeah, that's a very slippery slope, man. Very slippery slope.
I don't want to compromise my boundary, but I also don't want to break his heart or my own.
So wait a minute. You love him, but not enough. Look, this is, were you about to say something?
Yes.
All right, go ahead. Cause I'm a tangent.
So you giving the ultimatum is not what's going to be breaking your guys' heart. It is his lack of discipline to have a job and contribute.
Right.
Your ultimatum is a aftershock of his earthquake. Does that make sense? Okay. You can go on your tangent.
This ties right into the choice thing. All of this is a choice. He's choosing not to not work.
Right.
She's choosing to allow it.
She gave an ultimatum.
Right.
And after 7 months, he's finally like, okay, she's serious.
Right. But now she's going to have another choice to make, whether or not she's going to actually hold her line or kick him out, or let him stay, I mean. But the choices that are being made right now could have been handled differently if conversations would have happened in a very like, this is what needs to happen kind of thing. Right. So like, he's not working and it's month 2 and the conversation is like, look, I can't afford to do this on my own. I really need you to get a job. Be very cordial. You don't need to complain. You don't need to control. You don't need to nag. It just needs to be like a you thing. I'm stressed out. I need you to step up. I can't do this on my own. Make it about you. Have those discussions. If a month goes by and he's showing you that he's not willing to work, he's showing you who he is. Month goes by after that and you've had that conversation a second time, he's showing you who he is. That's a very different scenario, but you also have to keep in mind that you are going to be giving up somebody that you could potentially negotiate with.
Yeah.
I just don't, I have a hard time with men who don't work. They're bums to me. Like I really do have a hard time with that. But I feel like conversations, unless you're dealing with the workless, conversations can be had to make somebody go back to work. I'm not paying your cell phone bill anymore. I'm not buying your food anymore. That's step 1.
Right.
Not paying for the internet.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to lock the Wi-Fi and put my password in it so you can't get on it. There's things that you can do to force those people to go back to work if that's what has to happen.
Yeah.
If you have a conversation with him that says something along the lines of, you're showing me that I am not of value to you and that you want nothing more from me than for me to pay for your living expenses, that's a different conversation as well. But to just kick him out because he hasn't had a job in 7 months out of 5 years, I mean...
Well, this will be the second 6 months. So
yeah,
in 5 years, he's been without a job for 1 year.
Yeah, but it's been split up. Yeah, I don't know, man. I have a heart. If she was like, he hasn't worked the entire time in 5 years, I'm like, get rid of him.
Your Discord
he's a
keeps
bum.
pinging.
Oh, I don't have my headphones on. Ha, yes. Didn't hear it. I always forget to turn it off.
Yeah.
So you guys hearing those dings, it's because of Discord. Because we're active in there. People are tagging us, and that's what you're hearing. And we normally get in there and talk to people in Discord. So if you want to talk to us in Discord, go to Discord. Discord. You hear my stomach?
I do hear your stomach, yeah.
I'm hungry. What you doing?
I love that people know that you spoil me.
Why is that?
So there's the plant chat in the Discord, and somebody tagged me in a picture, and it was all these plants, and it was a dude holding back his girlfriend. He was like, you already have so many plants. And she was like, yeah, but not these plants.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes, that is correct. And she was like, we already know Chris is going to get you whatever you want. Stop it.
Yeah. You earned that, though.
Yeah. That makes me feel good.
This really does come down to a lot of what we talk about. And this is a perfect example of that email. Their relationship is not right.
No.
And I don't mean that, again, I don't mean sexual. I mean their personal relationship between the two of them is not right. He's using her. That's potentially, that's scenario number 1. Scenario number 2 is he's a workless, which also adds to him using her. Maybe he doesn't have a real trade. Maybe he has a mental illness and is using it as an excuse. There could be a whole lot of things that are happening that's making him not work, but she's allowing it to happen. I want to provide for you. If it ever got to the point where you are a burden to me, that's a fucking problem.
Right.
Our relationship is not right. I don't like you anymore. We're not getting along. You're nagging, controlling, complaining to me. I don't know. I don't know. Something has happened between the way that we interact with each other. And that's what I mean by our relationship, because it is a personal relationship. It doesn't have to be intimate.
No, it doesn't.
But our relationship is fucked up somehow.
The foundation of the relationship.
Right. And that's making me not want to be your provider anymore. It's making me not want to do the things that I do for you. I'm not wanting... you want to spend what on a plant? You got a plant. We live in Florida. There's plants everywhere. No. I want to see you smile, babe. And if that means I got to work 2 extra hours a week to fucking do that, I'm going to do that. I don't understand this mentality. Old boy either really doesn't want to work or she's not communicating her needs to him properly and they're not talking about it.
Right.
So how about instead of kicking him out and giving him an ultimatum, you sit down and go, hey, we're not on the same page anymore. We have this 5-year relationship, and at times it's dope as a motherfucker. But right now I feel real disconnected. And part of that is because you're not working and I am super fucking stressed out. How do we fix this? Because now you're asking questions. You're not making demands. You're not trying to control. You're not nagging. You're not bitching. You're not throwing shade. You're not giving ultimatums to move out of the fucking house.
You're giving him an opportunity to make you happy.
Correct. Love makes requests, not demands. And then at that point, you know you've laid it out. You know if he doesn't do any of the things that he says he's going to follow through with, you know how to proceed. I don't know. The ultimatum shit, I don't do the ultimatum thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's been a while since I've had like actual facial hair and my face is so fucking itchy.
Yeah.
And I keep scratching it. And like, I probably look like a junkie with as much as I've scratched my face today.
I can tell you're definitely a little itchy.
Yeah.
You gonna shave it?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even with that dandruff cream that the dermatologist gave me, I can't think of the name of it. I can't get it all the way on my skin with my beard.
Yeah.
So it may have to come back down. I'm lazy. Dude, if I had a full head of hair, if I wasn't going bald on the top of my head, I would look like a white trash fat Opie from Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah.
Long, gross hair, big old gnarly beard. Nope. Can't do it though. Beard, dandruff, and bald spots on the head.
I would shave your face for you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
With a straight razor?
Yeah, I would do that.
What happens if I sneeze?
Give me a warning. That was part of my piercing protocol. Like when I was
Yeah.
running down with the client, especially if I was doing like nostrils or septums, that'd be like one of the last things I tell them to make them laugh before I did the piercing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that she's had these conversations with him?
I would hope so.
Or do you think it's been a controlling, nagging argument?
I don't know.
Because that will determine the outcome.
I would say, was it the third option of beating around the bush of, I could really use some help.
Right. So
Money's getting kind of tight right now. I don't know how I'm going to buy groceries. And then he helps you budget money, but he's not getting a job because he thinks that you just need help with budgeting.
right. I'm gonna make a scenario up. I don't do dishes. I will. I'll throw them in the dishwasher.
Yeah.
I would rather get hit in the face. I would rather you punch me in the face like once a week than have to do the dishes 7 nights a
It
week.
would be a very light punch.
I'm just saying, that's how much I hate doing dishes. I hate doing dishes almost as much as I hate going to Walmart.
Yeah.
For perspective for you guys, I really fucking hate it. If I came home every night and there was dishes in the sink and I'd ask you every day to clean the dishes up, and let's say you even did it. Let's say at first you did it, but like there was like macaroni and cheese stuck to a fork every once in a while, or there was still something on a plate, and I bitched about it. I thought I told you to do dishes, and you're like, I did. And I'm like, well, what the fuck is this? Where's the gratitude?
Right.
Are you going to want to do the dishes for me tomorrow when I ask you to do them? Or are you going to get mad because I'm complaining about what you're trying to do for me instead of just setting that fork back in the sink? Because that's a decision, right?
Right. No, if that was how I was spoken to, I would never do the dishes for you again. You
Right.
can wash your own plates.
Right. So I ask you to do the dishes every night and you do them, and I notice there's some gunk on a fork and I just put the fork back in the sink.
I wouldn't even notice.
Right? And I'm not getting shitty. You don't
Right.
feel bad. The dishes are still getting done.
Yeah.
Everybody
I would have
wins.
no idea.
Right. Now, same scenario. I ask you to do the dishes every night and you just don't do them. Eventually, I'm going to stop asking you to do them. I'm just going to do them myself. Because what I'm asking you to do is not getting me any type of results. And then when you're like, babe, I was going to do those.
Bullshit.
I'd have been like, I got it. And then the next day when you're like, I was going to do those, I'd be like, I got it. And then when it got to the point where I was the one doing the dishes all the time, I didn't ask you to do it anymore. I'm going to have resentment towards you for not doing those dishes because I made the decision to do them every night instead of actually letting you make the decision to help me. So I can blow up, make a huge fucking deal about something, do it myself and be passive aggressive shitty, or remind you, babe, I asked you to take care of the dishes. I'm going to go jump in the shower. It's been a long day. Can you do those and I'll start dinner when we're done? Yeah, I got you. Yep. Sorry, I forgot. I was playing video games.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Just, I want to cook dinner. I want to start with a clean slate. Those are 3 decisions that gives you 3 different outcomes that are vastly different. And it really comes down to the way that you talk to your person. And if she's super stressed out about money and he's not working, and she's been like, when are you going to get a job? Does that make you want to get a job?
No.
Does it make you want to be intimate or have a personal relationship with someone who's treating you like that? But if I came home and was like, babe, our money's kind of fucked up right now. I handle our money. You don't work. If I came home and was like, babe, our money's kind of fucked up. And I hate to do this, but you may have to get a part-time job for a little bit until we get back on our feet. You're more apt to help me because I'm super stressed out and I'm asking my woman to fucking help me do something versus me going, I'm tired of fucking supporting your lifestyle. You buy too many plants and your silicone socks are stupid. Get a job.
Damn.
Right?
Why my silicone socks?
Because people do shit like that.
Right, I know. It's the self-care pampering that they attack.
Right. Because they don't get that because they're
Right.
working their fucking asses off. I'm glad you caught that. Like actually like correlated that.
So in that scenario, I would gripe about it. I'd be like, I don't wanna. I'm gonna do it.
Right.
I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna complain about it. And I hate it. But I'm really good at customer service, and I'm a decent people person. So getting a job would not be hard for me.
Right. And it would go a long way if it was to reduce the stress in the household for 5 or 6 months while we stacked everything that you made so that we got a savings again. Or however that would play out.
I watched a TikTok where a dude was interviewing a chick on a podcast. And he said, if your man came to you, he said, this is a variation, this isn't verbatim. He said, if your man came to you and said, babe, we're kind of struggling right now financially, can you get a job and help me out? She said, no, that is your job to provide for us. I'm not helping you go make more money. What a shitty mindset.
Yeah.
Like, who the fuck are you?
This is supposed to be a team effort.
Yeah.
We're supposed to succeed together. It's not about you succeeding and me riding your coattails or me succeeding and you benefiting from it. We are supposed to be working as a team to get the things that we want to get.
Right.
If I'm having a bad day, you're having a bad day. If you're having a bad day, I'm having a bad day. That's the way this works. We are one flesh doing what we have to do to survive together to make the best fucking life possible. And the last thing I want is to try to have to handle my woman or to have to fucking beg you to assist me or to have my vulnerabilities thrown back in my face or to have to worry about us having a combative conversation because I don't know how to talk to you or you don't know how to talk to me. This really does come down to the relationship that you have with your person. Because when you're in lust with somebody and everything is new and in that non-controlling phase, you don't do that. You ask, hey, on your way over, can you stop and get me some McDonald's? Not, hey, on your way here, grab me some McDonald's.
Right.
Very different conversation, very different tone. That change in tone, once you've got them to do that a couple of times, now you realize they'll do it every time you ask. It goes from a request to a demand to you control them because you know they're going to do it if you ask them to do it. You have that mindset of I control this person. Your entire relationship is going to change when you start controlling your partner. It is supposed to be a want to do for each other. I don't expect shit from you. I appreciate everything that you fucking do, but I don't ever expect nothing. Ever. I still ask you to make bank runs.
Yeah.
Babe, on your way to take the kids to school this morning or on the way back, can you please run to the bank? I don't want to have to do it today. I don't have time. Yeah, I got you. Or it's out of my way. Okay, I got it. I'll just make a larger loop. It doesn't fucking matter. It's about taking care of each other and making our lives easier. I don't want to cook tonight. DoorDash. Let's DoorDash. I don't want to cook either. Fuck it. Let's pizza. Like I don't. This isn't. I really truly don't understand why everybody has such a hard time understanding the request thing. And I do understand that there are people out there who are just shitty. But I believe that the really shitty people is a smaller group than the people who want to do for the people they love. I think the difference is that the people who do for the ones that they love do it because their relationship is right. And when the relationship is not right, it becomes shitty.
Yeah.
And that's when all the negative Nancys and the bitter Bettys that are in our comment sections on TikTok they're trying to control their person. They don't know how to communicate with each other. They're not talking from a place of love. They're making fucking demands. I don't get it, man.
I don't get it either.
You're taught to treat people the way you want to be treated. The golden rule is taught to us in school. Like it's not foreign to anyone. I don't know. I just don't get it. I really don't. I don't understand how we've gotten as far as we have and people don't understand these basic communication tenets because it's not hard to just talk to somebody. You don't have to be shitty. I'm not going to tolerate anyone being shitty to me. If you want something from me, you can talk to me.
Right.
You come at me with a demand or come at me sideways or start acting up, you're not going to get your way. I'm just not going to do it. We had somebody come into the tattoo shop today that we have on camera getting their change, showed her the video of her getting the change, trying to say that we didn't give her change. I pulled the camera system, showed him counting out the money and gave it to her. And she's like, we're going to call the cops. I'm going to call the cops. I'm like, cool, I'll call them. You're here. You want me to dial it? I got you. It was $100. In the grand scheme of things, $100 is not a lot of money. And had she had a different attitude, I probably would have just given her the $100 and sent her on her way because I don't care.
Right.
But because of the way she acted in the studio, I'm not fucking giving you nothing. You want to call the cops, call them. You want to do the lawsuit thing? We can do that too. I got lawyers.
Yeah.
I will sue the fuck out of you for slander because I have video. I don't, people are really just that caught up in them.
Oh, yeah. Self-centered.
I really don't get it.
Main character.
I appreciate our relationship.
Yeah.
I really fucking appreciate our relationship. These emails sometimes, like, I do get frustrated sometimes when we read the emails, but sometimes I have that realization of like, we have come a long fucking way in a very short amount of time in our personal lives, like individual lives. And because of that, our non-individual personal lives, like us as an individual at that point, has come a long way. Like we don't deal with shit like this.
No, we don't.
It doesn't make us better than anyone. It makes me realize that like we are very intentional with the way that we talk to each other. It goes a long way.
It does.
My neck and my beard is so itchy.
Do you want to do another email? You want to call it?
Let's do one more and then we'll take a break because I have to pee.
Well, I need to start cooking stuff for dinner if we're going to eat before the live tonight. So this email is called Dating Someone's Ex.
Uh-oh. I hate to break it to you. Everyone is dating someone's ex.
That's correct, yeah. Yeah. Unless you've never been in a relationship.
Where they've never been in a relationship.
Correct.
Here's something to think about. You've slept with every person that the people you've slept with have slept with.
That makes me feel gross. Yeah.
If you slept with 3 people in your life and those 3 people all slept with 3 people and those 3 people all slept with 3 people, a whole lot of dirty dick happening.
We're a bunch of harlots. Wow. The whole world's just a brothel. Y'all are disgusting. Good afternoon. Hope you're having a good Friday on this Easter weekend.
It's Thursday.
In May.
We're getting caught up. It's just taking time.
We are. It's definitely taking some time. I was wondering if I could get your perspective on dating somebody's ex. Because my particular take on this seems to turn some heads, including my mom. It's not like it's, oh, you're wrong reaction. They just kind of question why I feel the way that I do, even if I explain it. Here's my take. I don't have an issue with dating other people's exes, nor do I have an issue with people dating my exes. I don't see why people have a problem with it. Once you're not dating someone, in my mind, you really don't have a dog in the fight. They're not your person. They're not attached to you. They have nothing else with them unless you mutually chose to remain friends after the breakup. It rubs me the wrong way if people think it's some kind of problem to date your ex. They're not yours anymore, so why do you care who you're dating?
Tell me that you've never been in love with somebody and had someone else that you love know that you were still in love with that person and then make the decision to date them. Because just because you're broken up doesn't mean that you don't still have feelings for somebody. People do separate in really horrible situations where one person is still madly in love and the other one is just over the situation. And if that person starts dating somebody that this person loves, this person's going to be fucking devastated.
Yeah.
It comes down to your character. I also understand his point in all of this, that if you're not with someone anymore, you have no skin in the game and what they're doing with their lives, and I can respect that. But you need to be understanding that some people are going to be fucking hurt in the process, and if you're okay with hurting people, I don't see what the problem is. Because that's your character. You don't give a shit about other people's feelings.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of that. You dated somebody that I consider a brother before, like way before we got together. I mean, you guys were broken up for a while before we even started talking, but it was still, it ruined a relationship. And though he and I talk again and we're civil, that love that we had between the two of us will never be the same as it was. I know that.
Well, I would say there were other contributing factors.
There was a lot of other contributing factors to it. A lot.
I'm not the only reason you guys.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
You're not. But I did break every rule of me by dating you. And had we not had the year of courting that we had where we were being friendly and doing what we were doing and we wouldn't have gotten as close as we did, I would have never gone after you. I would have never let that happen. At some point you have to make the decision of is your happiness and long-term life more important than somebody else's happiness? Because that is a fair assessment. If you guys didn't work and he's moved on and you've been single for a while and life has happened and I have an opportunity to be happy and you have an opportunity to be happy and he's moved on, at that point, is it really a wrong thing to do? Our happiness matters. You guys didn't work. It's been a year or 2 years. Like, that's very different than you and I breaking up and then tomorrow you're dating my brother. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's a very different scenario. But I think that comes down to him. He's never, or that he or she, that person in that email has never been in a position where they've had their fucking heart broken and then betrayed by somebody that they truly loved, knowing that their fucking heart was broken. Otherwise, you wouldn't be sending this email. You would understand it.
I can understand how there would be a sense of betrayal. If a couple broke up and one of his friends started dating his ex, that's a betrayal.
Yeah, especially if it happened right away. Because then you're stuck sitting there going, okay, how long have y'all been interested in each other? You've been talking behind my back you've been fucking this whole time?
Right.
Like, yeah. Yep.
So
the situation matters.
it does. If you have a I don't give a fuck attitude, then
Right.
that's how you feel. Cool. I don't really have anything else to say on that.
Yeah.
People who have an issue with people dating somebody else's ex, I see that as a moral issue.
Yeah. I think also it comes down to time frames.
Yeah.
It's been 2 years. It shouldn't matter anymore. Unless they've been talking this whole time.
Yeah. It's been 2 weeks. That's a problem.
Yeah, I agree. 2 days is the problem.
I think I'm done.
Yeah?
Yeah. I need to go get the bread going for dinner.
I got this bread in my pocket.
I got this bread in my pocket.
It's funny. It's so funny that when the first time I heard him doing that, like, because actually that part of the sermon happened while I was getting ready for work.
Yeah.
And it went on for like 2 minutes. I'm like, great, that's enough of that. I can't listen to this anymore.
And that was all you say.
Yeah, and then we listened to it again in the car on the way back from Bach Gardens. And I got like, I don't know, 2 minutes through it, and now it's an ongoing joke in the house.
Yeah.
It's wild how that works.
That's funny.
Yep.
I enjoy us.
Yeah, me too.
I say that a lot.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You do actually say that a lot.
I really do. I think reading the emails and hearing other people's situations, I never want to take what we have for granted.
Yeah, I don't either. Do you think we know the emails make us stronger because when we come up to situations, we already know how we would deal with them because we've what if the shit out of them. But do you think that seeing how miserable people are in their relationships makes us be more
Aware of how good we have it?
but I was trying to say more, I keep wanting to say intent, but that's not the right word. More deliberate in the way that we treat each other.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
And it definitely makes it so that I don't take nothing for granted because I realize how fucking good I have it. And I also know that because I have it really fucking good, that my relationship with you dictates how good I have it. If I started treating you poorly, eventually you're not going to treat me the way that you treat me.
Correct.
In the same way, if you start treating me like shit, eventually we're not going to be okay. And it doesn't mean that we're not going to have good days and bad days. Because like I said in the side piece 13, some days you're just not going to love your partner the way that you love them all the time. Like, you're going to have bad days where like you're still in love. You just don't like that motherfucker. Like, they say some sideways shit and you're like, I can't believe they said that shit. And you're mad. Like, you get over it and you still have love for them in the moment, but you're not in love with them in the moment because you're frustrated with them. People want to argue that shit too, but I don't know. I'm glad that we don't allow ourselves to get to that point where we're not in love with each other still.
Yeah.
Because I believe that that's a decision that we make too.
I agree.
I think the moment that there is any type of conflict or disruption and we get frustrated, instead of stopping in the moment to check the frustration and reacting to each other in a negative manner, is going to be the day that shifts for us, because we're not caring enough about our relationship between the two of us.
Right.
To make sure that we're still good.
It's a lot of work.
It's worth it though.
It is.
I'm happy.
Me too.
I you know what I mean? It's not like I'm ever like, this is just too much. I can't do this anymore. It's too much work. It's never the case. It's just in the moment. Okay, I need to make a good decision. I had an 8th grade. I went to a disciplinary school in 8th grade, and though I say I have a 7th grade education, I did actually go to 8th grade, but it was a disciplinary school, and the disciplinary school was teaching like 3rd and 4th grade work. Like it was not. It really wasn't class. Like I didn't learn shit the entire time I was there. But the teacher's name was Mr. Ross, and every time somebody said something stupid, he would stop. Like if we cursed, he'd be like, "You want to rephrase that?" And I still to this day hear Mr. Ross in my head go, "You want to rephrase that?" When I'm getting ready to say something stupid. He reset my default settings. Like I think before I speak, and I hear his ass a lot.
Yeah.
I don't want to fucking say some out of my neck shit to you and like be intentional. And it doesn't mean that it's not going to happen from time to time, but I am very aware. And when it does slip, I'm like, you know, I didn't mean to talk to you like that. Like I really should have watched that kind of thing, but I don't know. I'm hungry, and I just ate, which is stupid.
Well, we haven't been having a lot of solid food last week.
I'm going to go eat a banana while you make bread.
Okay.
Guys, it's been fun. Episode 25 in the books.
25.
When we get that desk completely finished, we'll do a desk tour.
Yes.
I'm so proud of that shit.
It looks really good.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll see you on the next one.
Bye, guys.